We are live.
And we back.
Like,
Before we hop into it, I want to tell everybody welcome back to the To Be Fair show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, yeah, real.
it's Q.
And we back. Shout out my boy Tone on the board. He killing it. Before we hop into it, I want to tell everybody hit the notification button at the top, hit like, go ahead and subscribe for us so you can stay on top of everything we got coming out. Follow us at the To Be Fair show. We on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. It's the To Be Fair show. We'll
TikTok been popping too.
get it rolling.
Yeah. Hey, just to kind of re-emphasize what Johnny said, we got 2 in here. Let's go ahead and start off with 2 likes. The more likes we get, the more it pushes out to the algorithm as we're live. And again, we love the interaction with the crowd. So give us 2 likes to start off. Give us 3 likes to start off. Appreciate it. And then interact with us. If y'all want to send us memes at the To Be Fair Show Instagram. If y'all have topics for us at the To Be Fair Show Instagram. If you want to see my good side at the To Be Fair Show Instagram.
Good side.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, so,
Does that exist?
Hey, so we ain't did something in a minute. Let's do it. Check-in. How y'all boys' week was, man?
Yeah, we're gonna check in on the back end, bro.
We're gonna check in
on the back end. Let's hop into the memes.
I want to hop right into the memes.
Yes, sir.
We trying to get straight to the heat
Let's
today.
go.
All right.
Who we starting with?
Rock, paper, scissors. We ready?
Let's get it.
Rock. Get him up out of there.
Huh?
All
right. You see, I thought through that. That was the brain. You know what I mean?
You lucky guess, bro.
Yeah.
Right, so we on rails this week.
We on rail, and I want to start with that most recent one that's up there, old girl. And y'all may have seen this one because I got some smoke later on in the show, so I'm gonna start it off easy.
All right, let's see which one you talking about.
That one right there with the old girl. She's a keeper.
Oh. Go.
What's this for?
Honey.
Why?
Just for you.
So then what?
Whatever you want to do. Feel free. Fly like a bird and spend it.
Never.
Yes.
Why?
You said you wanted to go to the mall, so whenever you go, enjoy.
For real?
Yes.
I'm gonna take you on a date.
You gonna take me on a date?
Yeah. Let's go on a date.
Baby, it's for you to spend on you.
All right, so I'm gonna spend it on us.
All right, cool.
Let's go. We're gonna go on a date. Where you wanna go?
Like, you take
where you wanna go? I'll take you where you wanna go. Hey!
Sweet, let me get a kiss.
I wanna take you on a date. Thank you, baby.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope. Did y'all believe it? Or I had a homie, he's seen it already. He was like, he thought it was fake.
I mean, most of the shit be skits, but
I don't think that was a skit. I think she was being real.
Yeah, it seemed like her reaction seemed very authentic to me. I didn't see that as like a
I'm gonna just take the meme as face value, and just say, I thought it was real. Seemed cool.
Yeah, she seemed like the type of girl watch anime. Dog gonna just sit at the house chilling.
The thing is, you know, the funny part was like, how many women would you say would probably make that decision?
To spend it on you.
No, not to spend. She said she want to take him on a date. Not saying that she's gonna spend the whole thing, but just saying that, you know, that was something that popped into her head to like, oh, okay, well, shoot, we gonna be out then.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess it's kind of. All right, I'm gonna let Johnny answer because I guess my answer is gonna be a little bit longer.
No, I think that's a little loaded. I mean, because like, you're probably not giving that money to a woman. I think, you know, you wouldn't give them that kind of money to a woman that wouldn't reciprocate. So I think the fact that she's getting the kind of money means she's worth the money because she would take them on a date. So I think it's like a cause and effect thing. You know, I think it's more like the reason she's getting the money is because she's that type of woman. Yeah,
and I think that I was going to lean closer to that in the idea that you said, do I think that most women would do that action specifically? Maybe not, but I think it's the idea of reciprocity. And I do think that a lot of women operate on the idea of, like, a lot of women that you're in real relationships with, if they're not inside like the lane of like the gold digger trying to chase a nigga with a bunch of money, usually there's a level of reciprocity if she's a good woman. And yeah, so I think that will be my answer. That exact scenario, I don't know. Like, that's kind of hard to say if most women would do that. But be reciprocal, yeah, I think.
Well, I'm gonna go on the ledge and say no, most women wouldn't do that. I do agree with the ideas. Like, so what I was thinking when I saw, I was like, okay, well, obviously there's a value between them. There's a value. He values her and she values him, and they're also in a comfortable financial scenario. So with the comfort financially is where you would find someone that wouldn't be so selfish, or I ain't gonna say selfish because I think the average response is, oh, babe, appreciate it. I'm gonna go. I saw this bag. I saw this that I wanted, and I'm gonna go and get this. You know what I mean? That's I think the average response.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Either.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that that's the wrong answer. But the in a perfect scenario, what a man would be better than anybody. You know what I mean? That would be better than any man would expect. Is what I'm saying. It's actually very dope. When I seen it, I was like, man.
Yeah,
and then how hyped she was about it, and she was like, you know what I mean? We can do this. I was like, oh, that's fire.
But the truth is that her reaction would make you want to do it more.
Exactly. No, for sure. Mm-hmm. Her reaction would definitely, and it was about a band, and you know what I mean? I'm like,
just appreciation, like whether she spent it or didn't spend it on him. I think just her reaction in itself,
not truth,
would make you be like, nah, she actually appreciated it. You could tell she wasn't expecting it, and it's something that took her off guard, and she really, really valued and appreciated it.
For sure. What else I got?
So in the break right now, as we figuring it out, I just want to let y'all know, we are having a To Be Fair show, Sweater Off, and with Rel, he been coming in here lately, kind of hot on the sweater side of the game. So I said I might have to, you know what I mean, put a couple of them on.
I ain't mad
put a couple of them on.
And it looked like, I had the navy blue on last week too. It looked like you might have been kind of biting.
I just looked in the closet. That's all I'm saying.
Or you might have looked at last week's episode and was like, I want to do that. I want to do that.
I don't know.
And then looked in the closet. Oh, this will do it. This looks like real.
So we might have to have a sweater check soon. We're gonna skip this episode unless you.
No, you just came up with this. I didn't know you was gonna dress as me this week. I ain't know.
I ain't know you was gonna dress as me.
I didn't know.
Now, old school Rel is the V-neck. V-neck.
Oh, I'm still V-neck guy.
With the charm around his.
Oh, I ain't never had no charm. This now you
whatever. I don't know what you call that around your neck. The thing around your neck.
The chain.
I was trying to say it nicely. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know.
Anyways, let's get to my next meme. I want to go with Charleston. I want to go with Charleston White. We're gonna dive in.
Well, let me jump in here. I gotta get back set.
I think
he ain't know what
everything that you're saying has some truth to it. It's just the delivery. There's no denying that you're standing for and by your people.
Well, here's the thing. When you're addressing evil, you can't worry about the delivery. When you're looking at the conditions of our community, you can't worry about the evil when you got kids that kill kids and say we smoking on Tuka. See, they wasn't worried about the delivery when these kids in Chicago were talking about smoking on Tuka. Mm-hmm. They weren't worried about the delivery. I ain't got no manners for no slut. I'm gonna put my thumb in her butt. Yeah. The delivery?
Start twerking.
Yeah. I like girls kissing girls where I'm from. And that's on the radio. Girls on girls. That's promoting lesbianism to my daughter as we driving to school. This song they playing with Drake. Y'all worried about the delivery? These niggas talking about killing each other. That nigga Thug said, nigga, I shot at your mama. You don't mention me no more. He really shot that nigga mama. And y'all worried about my delivery? These niggas are confessing to murders on songs. And y'all worried about my delivery? The conditions of black sucking them talking about booty hole. Y'all worried about my delivery? Come on, don't be hypocrites, black people. Y'all can't listen to this music if y'all so caught up in my delivery. Don't do me like that. And the way y'all snap and pop y'all pussy to this music, the way y'all kill and drill to this music, don't trip about my delivery. Hey, yo, Easy, why you wear your pants like that? I wear my pants like that because that's easy access, baby. Easy, why you talk like that? I talk like that to get my point across. Because when I wasn't talking like that, wearing a bow tie, y'all wasn't paying me no attention. And I was going to the Supreme Court, changing laws and legislations in this country. I was working with over 50 U.S. congressional members, from Ted Cruz to Mark Rubio, Senator John Cornyn. I was on the front page of the American Bar Association Journal. I had done a study with News 21, Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. Y'all wasn't paying attention then. So, nigga, I gave y'all what y'all want. A ignorant motherfucking nigga that talk like them rappers. Now y'all listening. Now y'all paying attention, huh? I got y'all attention. Checkmate. Now let me tell y'all what y'all need to hear. We fucked up as a race of people since y'all so caught up into my delivery. 5% of children now are catching HIV from ages 13 to 21. What y'all worried about? 85% of the new chlamydia, all the new cases of teenagers. What y'all so caught up about? Nigga, only 35% of most kids in inner cities can read on or above their grade level. What the fuck are y'all talking about? And these kids can't read. Come on, my nigga. So if we gonna be real, let's be real. I'm not bashing the black woman in her BBLs. I'm not bashing the black woman because she wearing eyelashes. I'm not.
That was a
Oh no, he
that was a lot of great.
He said niggas get upset because I'm talking about the men. Right there, that's what he was about to round it off.
We're
Mad about George Floyd? Are we still mad about police shooting? Is that why we not kneeling no more? Are we still boycotting the NFL? What happened to all these things? What happened? Nigga, because I'm still stuck on Tamir Rice while y'all stuck on my delivery. I'm still mad why ain't now motherfucker tore up the country behind Tamir Rice. Baby Tamir Rice at that. Since we so in tune.
I think we missed the part where he rounded that statement off.
But no, I think everything he's saying is like on point.
That was my favorite. I'm glad I didn't overlook that in there because that was actually
ironically enough, my meme was on this exact topic. Different person, same topic.
So on point because like you say, we can make excuses for all the music and all of that, but at the end of the day, there's an effect that the said music has, and said music is being pushed not by people who want to see our best benefit. It's it's exploitative. They're taking advantage, and they're doing it at the the detriment of the community. So it has to be said. Somebody needs to be, and I'm glad it's finally getting the proper light that it should.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, everybody once you start stepping on folk toes, then they gonna find a reason to blame something as to why it's wrong. You talking about delivery at the end of the day, bro? He's absolutely right. We listen and take in all this stuff all the time, and then want to talk about he's talking too straightforward. Like, what are we supposed to? You know what I mean? What do you want? You're too straightforward. What do you want, bro? So you want to pacify it when somebody telling you about yourself, but then you want to sit and be entertained by a whole bunch of BS. It's actually I don't agree with everything anybody say. When people talk about Dr. Umar, I don't agree with everything Dr. Umar says. I don't agree with everything Charleston White says. I don't agree with everything anybody says. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to write somebody out that's actually speaking and trying to push the culture forward.
Well, when you're right, you're right. I mean,
and you can be wrong and be right in the same conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I got a meme that kind of might push this conversation.
I wanted to hear what you had to say before we move forward.
Oh, I don't think that it's still a lot to really to like disagree or like I agree with pretty much everything that y'all said. I think that all right, so I guess this is where the line of the conversation probably is best at. Do I think what he's doing is most effective? No. What he said just now, that long diatribe, was perfect and it made sense. But a lot of the conversation between him and Cam was that the idea of, okay, you have the people's attention. Are you still going to keep doing this thing though? Because most people aren't receiving what you're saying. And there's a lot of good fruit to what you're saying. You have a really good background. Like, you've went through the experiences from like literally a kid. He goes through his entire life story on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of fruit to what he's saying. You've gotten the crowd. You've gotten the attention that you need. At what point do you take away some of like the harshness that's driving away most of the people to listen and actually feed the people? And I think that having a great message underneath like everything that you're saying that's wild and crazy is cool, but is it effective? Probably not. Like, it's some good shit to say and it's a sound bite for Instagram and shit, but is his impact actually really, really being felt as much as it probably could be? I would probably say not, especially if you watch the interview and they stood on the Deion Sanders part for a while. Because, and a piece of it was because of behind the scenes, he kind of like spoke to the idea of that it's not really fuck Deion Sanders, but like I'm speaking for these kids, so fuck Deion Sanders. But all he would ever say is fuck Deion Sanders, and then he'll run down his list and then like and fuck his old lady and da 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 da. And like I think that he had like his actual point for like the Deion Sanders shit, I kind of stand on that side of things. But nobody's actually hearing that because as soon as you say fuck his old lady, it's like, all right.
I get what you're saying. So we're going beyond the meme itself. But and I understand what you're saying. At what point is the sound bite no longer or the character that you're trying to portray no longer effective?
Or get in and get out. Like you got the attention. Now say all the good shit right
now. Well, it becomes like
you can even do it in the same video.
Yeah.
Like fuck Deion, da da da, and then drop a bunch of gems and then like all right, at the end you can wrap it up. Well, it's really not, but this character is meant to speak for the voices of these kids that feel abandoned after you came and sat in their mama's house and played daddy. And like I get like you can run that and it all you did everything at the exact same time.
And it be more or actually effective because I understand what you're saying. Like this, the way that he presents is ineffective. For if the goal is to push people forward, just complaining about the problem, which we all know, and then like dragging it and being so disrespectful and
because people only hear the disrespect.
Right.
Again, like the fuck Nipsey Hussle, I care about Aramis. But most times, most people just stays on the
Nipsey Hussle. And then a lot of people don't even know that that's his real name. So that just goes completely over your head. And
well, it becomes counterproductive at a point. Exactly. You have to, once you have the attention, the thing you did to get the attention ain't necessarily always the thing that's going to work once you have the attention. So that's why you always got to, you got to evolve and you got to check in and see, how your progress and your process is doing.
All right, Tom. Well, I guess before we click that, I guess let's read the comment.
Oh, I already clicked this and put it off. This was from the first topic y'all was talking about. We'll go back though. She was saying she thinks that the lady who was talking with the money and everything. I think that she is being very authentic. Most women who are valued and appreciated will do just what she did.
Okay,
agreed.
All right, let's get to it, Tom.
This actually still along the same topic. I just think it's gonna help push a little bit further. Into some other points in this topic, but yeah, I'm just gonna play the video.
Let the people see it.
Let me get to the right one.
Right, and it's promoted. There is rock music that is not pleasant. There are mob movies. There's all types of entertainment from other cultures, other races that are violent. Why do you guys think that Black people take this music and feel like they literally have to live it out?
And you talked about, like the mob and these sorts of things. The mob have the right idea that we have to organize crime like a company. And there has to be rules. There has to be a hierarchy and a status and this and that. And so if you look at Blacks, when it comes to crime, we aren't even honorable enough to leave grandma out of it. Run up in the nigga house and shoot his grandmother up. We shoot babies, kids. Don't give a motherfucker, get your baby kidnapped and your baby motherfucker. It's different because everybody knows that Robert De Niro is not really a gangster. Everyone knows that
I'm sorry, but that song was hard, bro.
Yeah,
that was a bird. I'm sorry, bro.
I guess to me, like I didn't want to stop
cold.
it and I wanted to let it finish, but really, I was gonna say like Eminem said way worse than that.
Okay, go ahead. My bad. I didn't mean to.
But yeah.
Pacino is not really a gangster, and Joe Pesci is not really a gangster. The same cannot be said about these rappers because considering the fact that they make a living actually producing a product that people want, that is not good enough for them because that is too much like a normal life. So notice how they always make it a point to tell you that I was a gangster before all this. I'm a gangbanger, man. I'm connected. In order to be a legitimate rapper or to be someone involved in the hip hop industry, everything is predicated upon realness.
Every verse was about how I would run into your house and tie your parents up or something like this.
Hold on, how y'all gonna tell me to stop?
Rebuttaling before the video even done.
Let's go ahead and finish the video.
As we pause right now, that's when Wayne was cooning crazy. That nigga got on stage and said, Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter, cause my bitches matter.
Cause what?
My bitches matter.
Because he got white and black.
He was going crazy.
He was lost in the sauce.
Hey.
And then he did that interview with old lady. That's where this come from. and she was pushing her back on all that shit. And then he pulled the gang card, and he was like, "I'm connected," and then dropped his flag and like, he was on a crazy coon train at that moment. But go ahead.
Like that, and I sold over 1 million records in a heartbeat.
See, when it comes to heavy metal and rock and roll, everybody's not in on it. When it comes to black culture, the church is in on it, the politicians are in on it, the schools in on it, the neighborhoods in on it, community centers in on it, the coaches in on it, the parents are in on it, the gang members, everybody is in on it when it comes to black culture. It's not the case in any other culture. Those things are pastimes in other cultures. Rock and roll and heavy metal, emo, goth, and all that kind of stuff. Those things aren't endorsed by the rest of the culture because they still have to function. So it's a structured environment. Imagine a culture where you see all the folks that are supposed to be the respected in the community, the leaders, they're supposed to be revered, and they're all indulging in the culture. I just think it's just a part of black culture.
70+% of black kids are growing up without a father in the home. This wasn't true prior to the civil rights movement, when 3 out of 4 black children were growing up with both their mother and the father in the household. Boys need fathers. They do. They need fathers to toughen them up, to teach them work ethic, to counteract the nonsense in the culture. They need fathers to do that. When you have that, it doesn't matter what kind of lyrics are in the song. It doesn't matter what kind of imagery is in the movies or anything of that nature. When you have a dad to counteract the nonsense, you will not be susceptible to it. This is what black folks do. Well, the white folks do this in the country and the rock and this, that, and the other. The nuance matters. The facts matter. You can't promote a lifestyle of indulgence and do what thou wilt, and the family isn't important, get the bag, this, that, and the other. You can't do that on the one hand, and then at the other hand, have all this nonsense in the music and not think that music isn't going to have any kind of impression on the impressionable. This is kind of the environment in which a lot of these, unfortunately, black kids are growing up in. And so we can't then expect that the music won't have a kind of impression on them.
Okay.
Well, what I was going to say kind of gets to what he was saying at the end, as far as we have to be there, but we also got to understand where these images and stuff are coming from. It's being put, it's capitalism. They making money off the negative black image. And so we have to understand, and the only way we're going to counteract that is by trying to push, positive. There has to be positive. Little kids can't grow up in the hood and they've never seen like a doctor, a lawyer, or a business, like people like that get the same kind of glorification that the dude on the corner does or the athlete does. And it goes back to what we, just kind of what we value as a people, and just
I don't see that ever. You know what I mean? Because what it seems as though is that entertainment is the thing that everybody, like, entertainers are the ones that get the most glory. So the fact that you work the job, that isn't, you know what I mean? Even though you're healing people and you're actually helping people and you're doing the good work, there's no glory in that and I think that we kind of literally, we have to redefine or actually provide our own definition of what our culture is. But because that we can't allow for that type of thing, right? That type of, you know what I mean? Just the death and the ignorance. We can't allow that to be what we consider our culture. Or like, it's crazy. Like somebody make an album called Culture, and then it's a whole bunch of craziness, and then name the youngin' culture, which you want the complete opposite of what you're saying the culture is in your youngin'.
But even outside of the music, I think we just have to give kids opportunities to see other people that look like them doing, not doing that. Like it has to be visible, and we have to, push those images and make sure we get those images in the places where they need to be.
So this week I did something like I was just looking on YouTube and I watched like they have old episodes of Video Soul Gold. I don't know if y'all remember Donnie Simpson back in the day. He used to host Video Soul on BET. Mm-hmm. All right, so I was just watching like a couple of these episodes. Bro, we moved backwards. Like if you look at the episodes and you see the videos that was coming, we had a culture that was on a positive move. There was a lot of positive stuff going on in the 90s that just somehow got overshadowed and turned into what it is today. But most of the videos that was on there, Video Soul Gold is the one that nobody was watching. It was the one.
Niggas was watching Rap City,
bro. This was a countdown show,
and
so this was a weekly countdown where everybody chose the 20 top videos. So everybody voted. They had to call in and vote. So this was really a show where the people was choosing.
I never remember. Like I remember when Video So Gold came on. Bro, I used to go to the.
What I'm saying is, in 1994, we was too young. I didn't remember the videos either, most of them, but we was too young to remember stuff from 1994 and 1993 and stuff like that. 1995. If you go back and you actually look at what people was watching during that time and what was being promoted and what these people was voting on, what was being like what black people was choosing, had a whole bunch of culture. You had a whole bunch of stuff like what's that song? Long as you keep your head to the sky, you can win. You had a whole bunch of songs like that. Zane and all of them. You had a whole bunch of culture. It's a groove thing and all of this stuff going on. You had a whole bunch of that going on.
So
it was a different dynamic.
One thing in itself. All right, we're getting into a music conversation. So you're what you're speaking about. One would be that 90 to like 93, 94 era in which there was the cultural push where you had De La Soul, you had Tribe, you had the Poor Righteous Teachers. You had like that was a push. This was also like a bit of the birth of the what's the name of it? Neo Soul.
But then was talking about this on Drink Champs too. Like just recently.
He was a part of Leaders of the New School, I want to say.
Yeah.
But you also had the New Jack Swing. That I think and then you had the house music thing, in which that that section of music in itself was really different. That's also when you had Tupac speaking out about MC Hammer and how commercial he was, and he was tap dancing, but 95 and up, it's a little bit of a different story.
Okay, so what I'm saying though
we get the introduction to Master P.
I'm not saying there wasn't ever like any ignorance or anything like that. There's always been ignorance, and this music still was there. But what the difference was that wasn't all that it was. Like today, that's all that it is. I'm not saying it's even they make what y'all want to make, but they cut out a whole plethora of what is our culture. And just said, "Hey, this one thing is y'all culture."
And I think that when it really got crazy was when they made it pop, when they made it the popular music. When the music when black music became the popular music, it seemed like they made it. It was all just the bullshit. You ain't really get you ain't really get so much of like. Okay, do you consider? I guess I'm not even going to ask like specific artists, but I believe that when they came, once we became the pop music. And it was almost like this is more recently when pretty much when hip hop became the #1 genre. That was what, about 3 years ago?
You said when it became the
#1 genre. Yeah. It's been like three, maybe 4 years.
I about can still target it back to when there was a switch, bro. Like I kind of see a switch in like 2000, 2001.
And then the censorship started to go away as well.
I think like Cash Money was the switch. Honestly.
So it says hip hop became the #1 genre in the 1990s, mid 1990s.
Holy shit! Oh, so they just never said anything, and I had never heard that before.
Nah, see, I did hear it, but there was we had a lot of different music going on in the 90s because you had like Missy Elliott who was talking about her stuff. You had like Tribe Called Quest who was on there and stuff, and Q-Tip. Like there was a lot of variations of different music. There was ignorant stuff, but that was just like few and far in between. You had
it was underground,
and that's what I'm saying. It wasn't the pop music. It wasn't the popular culture music.
Like it was stuff that you listen to. I'm not even just talking about rap. I'm not even just talking about rap. I'm talking about R&B too, because R&B has changed too. There was a whole different thing. Like they were singing about love and stuff still and everything. Now everything is I think it's over sexualized. Honestly, most of the stuff we're sold is just over sexualized, promiscuous, raunchy stuff. Like it's no room for anything else. It seems like that's the stuff that's in the shadows now, or underground. Like we reversed what the underground music was.
I guess I primarily disagree. In the 90s, most of the highest selling rappers are still talking about money, drugs, hoes, and guns.
We should. I would go look that up.
But that's different than talking about killing.
Yeah.
It's still different than talking about killing.
And I still don't think that, bro.
Well, especially right now, the biggest selling artists aren't talking about killing.
I think
but in general, like the only real killing era we had is the drill era. Everything else was drugs and fucking bitches and bitches ain't shit and
who's the top
artist? But like, okay, so you think about stuff like
rap. I guess Drake.
You go back to like Timbaland and Magoo
Drake,
and stuff.
Cole, and Kendrick are the top selling rappers for the past 10 years.
Go ahead.
You said
What?
what?
I was saying if you go back to like 1998 and everything with like
Timberland and Magoo, and again,
all that
I
stuff.
love them. Like I almost know that whole album top to bottom. But like that's the Up Junks, the Boogie era. But what I'm saying is that Timberland and Magoo wasn't the highest seller.
No, they wasn't the highest. But what I'm saying,
you still had Jay-Z, you had DMX, you had Ja Rule before the singing. Like the top selling artists and rappers were still the I'm gonna shoot you, kill you.
This was about 1999 that you talking about though. 1998, 1999, bro.
I'm not. Just look when DMX ran the world. That's like 96. That's like 97, 98.
And even with that was the underground stuff. Everybody
he
didn't
wasn't.
just hear that.
He
like
was
that wasn't
number one.
He wasn't underground.
He had 2 number ones.
What I'm saying was this wasn't the stuff that was predominantly being played on the radio. He had his hits, the hits that was played on the radio, but the real versions was on the CD. You had to listen to the album to hear that. Like it wasn't like the most vulgar thing. You couldn't just hear that on the radio, bro.
And you couldn't just go and get the joint.
The radio still edited. Well, I mean, truthfully, today the radio probably is censored. I mean,
I'm not going. No, bro, I'm not going.
All right, cool, but
it's pretty.
But hold on, but to be honest,
crazy, bro.
No, all right, so let me make this point, and then like I would love to hear the rebuttal.
We're gonna put this on you.
No, for sure. But what I'm saying is that
don't group me into this shit.
And that's cool. But again, like. Are we speaking from actually listening to the radio, or are we just like making statements just to make?
I mean, back then we all just listened to the radio.
Let me make.
I'm speaking from listening to the radio.
We all only listened to the radio during that time.
No, what I'm talking about right now.
I listen to the radio now.
All right, cool. So if we listen to the radio, we actually tried this experiment before with Real, where I said, let me just push whichever one. But my main thing is that if you listen to the radio right now and you hear every record label owner say this, Afrobeat's the new rap. That's all that's on the fucking radio.
Can we turn it on now?
We can in a second, like
just to see.
That's cool.
It's Sunday too. Afrobeats probably.
Oh yeah, Sunday. It's always Sunday too.
But we was playing Afrobeats in here before we started shooting.
Yeah, but literally. But hold on. But again, my main thing is that if you actually listen to the radio, Tone, you say you do. Let's be real. Who's actually on there? It's mainly Afrobeat. You have a little bit of R&B, and there's minimal rap. Like it's like rap's the least thing that's being played right now. And all the rap that's being played is meme songs. It's gonna be something that you be like, oh, I know the meme from that. Who are the rappers that are on the radio right now?
And I guess they're doing that now because nobody listens to the radio really at this point. I would assume that that's probably one of the reasons that they do it that way because nobody really listens to the radio. What is the demographic that listens to the radio? What's the demographic that listens to the radio?
Rap right now on the radio is mostly like Glorilla, Sukiana.
Sukiana is not on the radio.
They playing on the radio.
What song? No, again, I listen to the radio.
All of this stuff on the
what
radio.
What Sukiana records on the radio?
Bro,
Sexy Red would be like.
Sexy Red. I'm putting all them in the same category. That's what they're playing.
They're the same person, bro. From my understanding, they're the same person.
That's cool. Again, I'm only trying to talk about like realistically what's happening. Sexy Red, yes. All right, let's put Sexy Red in the box. As ignorant as we can get, boom. Ignorant, Sexy Red, she does make radio play. Who else?
I don't listen to
like who's like the crazy ignorant rappers that's on the radio. They not. It's just Afrobeat. Afrobeat, like they sign Afrobeat artists like they underground rappers now.
And that may be true. That may be true, but it's like, but how long has that been the thing? Because I know that this is fairly new. But before whatever you talking about, there was a time when I was listening to the radio.
It was R&B.
We still seeing the influence across the whole culture, though. That's my whole thing. Hip hop is still influencing. Like hip hop is still influencing the culture more than everything else. That's how I see.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Whether like
as it has been for a long time. And as it continues to go or veer, whichever way it veers, the influence will be more and more prevalent. Like that's just what it is. We move with.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa say then was beautiful. You had everybody that wanted to push creative shit. Now people don't give a F because all they want to see is ignorant mess.
Truth.
Oh.
Hey, I
only go by
Lisa,
what like
Lisa, tell that man.
Hey, I implore y'all this week.
Tell him.
Just go look at an episode. Look at some episodes of video. Go and see a video. So just listen to what I'm saying. Look in the 90s and just check this out, bro. Like there was a lot of culture. There's a lot of artists we don't even know about now. And the reason they was getting a push was just because black people genuinely like their songs. There was a genuine thing about it. That's what I see. I think there was a lot of culture in the 90s and we forfeited it.
Oh no, for sure. I also would say in that. Research the time slot that Video Soul Gold was, and then look at Rap City, the Basement during that time. Look at City Sita's World, and then if we're going,
Sita used to be off the chart.
and then if we're going later '90s, start 106 in Park. Those were the main. Go to TRL. Go again,
even if you go back to 106, 106 had a lot of good R&B videos. It's a lot of songs I remember watching. Like there was a range of stuff. I'm not saying that it was all ignorant. Like
there was
right
definitely
now,
a range, a crazy range. That was a crazy
It used
range.
to be a range.
You had Nelly.
Lil
that
Bow
would come
Wow
out
was
of
like
nowhere.
the biggest
Bow Wow came
like from 106.
You still had the R&B groups, B2K, and all. You had a lot going on during that time period. It was definitely diverse. Now it's like it's the same songs over and over.
No, I mean, again, I think that this is. I'm gonna tap out the argument.
It's a box.
Well, it's not a box only because of nothing that you all say is actually like it's not proven with anything.
Bro, literally, we can just. I implore. We gonna look at some videos this week, bro. I think this should. Let's look at some videos this week and come back.
She got another one. Before we move on from it, let's see what Lisa said. On
oh no, this wasn't her. This that was Miss Sharon had posted something before.
Oh, you can read it real quick.
She said, I guess that's why I'm so proud of you guys out there rapping. You made people want to listen because you all spoke of positivity. Now all they want to do is bash their own race.
That's a good spot to leave it at.
Yeah, but I'm
it's
actually
a good spot to leave it at.
No, that's cool. I'm piggyback off Tone. I will actually next episode because we continue having this conversation that's based in like hearsay and like things. I'ma literally just go and research all the number ones, the top selling artists for the past 30 years, and I'm also going to go.
Just talking about number ones.
No. Again, let me finish. And like you said, let's do the research. I'm gonna do the research of TRL. I'm gonna do 106 in Park, Video Soul Gold, Rap City the Basement, all the top whatchamacallits, like music video, whatever it's called, shows of that time period. And then we're gonna look and see, compared to today, what's the main I guess right now there's no video shows, but I'm gonna do the top 10, top 20 radio records that are out right now.
He gonna take you out of school.
All right, well, that's fine.
I'm saying look at some old episodes. Let's share this in the group chat. Like, we gonna share it in our group chat this week. We gonna share it in our group chat this week. We gonna do this. This is what we gonna do in the group chat this week. We gonna look up different old episodes on YouTube with different stuff. Homework, bro. This ain't that hard.
Like, if we're going old episodes of Video Soul Gold,
bro, like Video Soul Gold, TRL,
Video
106
Soul Gold was the shit nobody watched at like 11 o'clock.
Bro,
I know what that
bro,
was.
you wasn't watching it in 1994, 11 o'clock. Other people was, same as other people's watching.
I know
Soul
when it
Train
came
every
on
Sunday.
in 1994.
Oh, we got another comment real quick. The main reason why hip hop went from positivity to negativity was because once others thought that hip hop was lucrative, they made it negative so they can make more money. I don't tend to like to blame stuff on other people. I think the reason hip hop went negative is because we let it. But that's another conversation.
I don't know if we let it.
Nah, I hold us accountable,
like,
bro.
We don't really have any control.
You really had a conversation because then you get into like the whole.
I hold us accountable, bro. We stand for everything that's wrong. We be down for it, and then when it's something good.
But when niggas sold them record companies, they gave away their power.
Yeah, that's
a lot of niggas took a lot of niggas took the bag a few years ago and sold their stakes in a lot of these companies. So now we don't have the power to even control our music.
And who made them sell it? They made the choice based
off.
Well,
black people wasn't holding like majority stakes inside the majority of the music industry.
Bro, but a lot of they still had the opportunity to set up their masters. Even the Temptations had that right back in doggone 45 or whatever they was recording.
So now, right now, all right, I'm gonna try and stay close to that. But what you're talking about is the idea of the uneducated artist and being caught into the music industry. But
yeah, we can go to another video because we've been on this topic for a minute. Dang, man, you put Charleston White on here too.
Oh, but I think Real had another one. He had one more.
Who goes second?
Oh, y'all, we can move on.
Who goes second?
You going second. We putting this nigga last.
Oh man, I ain't even opened Johnny's folder yet. Let's see. Johnny got. Oh, that video with Ajna from the Tonight's Conversation. I just seen this in Q's. We got to share that, bro. I watched that video earlier this week. But right now we in Johnny's. What you got, Johnny?
I want to lighten it up a little bit.
Don't play no bull like you did last week, Johnny.
You can play what you want. Don't let that nigga
Go, give me the first one. This one of my favorite couples on IG.
It's on onion powder.
Why is the water soapy?
Oh, this is an old school one too.
What did you do? I said wash the fucking chicken. What is this?
What you mean? I'm washing it.
Taquan, why is there soap in the chicken?
Look
Tom,
at the
why is there soap in the chicken?
face. Bro, we ought to have it.
Rinse it off with cold water. You not fucking put this soap in the
Hey, you didn't say that.
Bro, are you fucking retarded? Your mom cooked. You ain't never watched.
Bro, he never got to go in
You didn't my dinner up, bro.
She's so
like this one, like doing shit with you. I asked you to do one thing. I ain't say fucking soak the chicken up, wash it like dishes. I said fucking wash it.
It's on onion powder. Onion powder.
Why is the water soapy?
That's one of my favorite videos ever. But hey, fellas, learn some skills in the kitchen, man. You don't ever want to be this guy.
Nah, that's how you get out of the kitchen. That's how you get out of kitchen duties, bro.
That's another
forever.
I ain't got to go in the kitchen
forever.
I remember back in the day, I had fell asleep and burnt some boiled eggs. I fell asleep burnt some boiled eggs. I couldn't be in the kitchen for nothing for a nice little minute.
Banned. And since we're gonna talk about music, give me Snow. Give me Snow on the Tupac beat.
Oh, for real? All right.
I
want to hear this.
Give me Snow on the Tupac beat.
Snow is a real rapper.
And she's an R&B singer.
Oh.
Feel this way, it's kind of like
I think so. Yeah. Shout out Raymond DJ. He been killing the match. Y'all gotta go check him out.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Okay, never mind. I feel like I heard that song before.
Yeah, you heard the song. He just put it on the
Tupac actual beat. Like she actually sampled that beat on that record. I want to say.
Okay, I was about to say I've heard that like
but
that already.
Down.
Okay, got you. Give me some juice, Johnny.
Y'all had all the juice.
No, let's warm it back up, bro.
What
We gotta
you
keep
got,
the kitchen
Johnny?
hot. Bro.
Let's have. Okay, well, shoot. Scroll down. Give me my boy in the shiesty mask.
I'm a Black American. I don't need to go to Italy to know that Italians are racist. They're racist here in America. They don't like you, Mulian. What is this infatuation with Italy? Like even rappers, they name themselves after like Italian gangsters that would call them the N-word at the drop of a hat. They're not trying to do business with you. They'll use you for sure. What you want, a margarita pizza? What you want, Italian food? It's dough, cheese, and red sauce. Maybe some sausage and peppers. Throw that in there. Done. Why do you want to go to Europe as a Black person in general? If you're from Africa, y'all use powder wigs in your high court. You're still living in 1700s. Like, what the fuck? I'm a Black American. What the fuck is the infatuation with Europe and Black people? Why are you going there? And then surprised they're racist. That's where the racists are made. That's racism factory. They're the OG colonists. This is where the pilgrims came from. When you're seeing them fucking powder hat, buckle shoe, baseball pants wearing motherfuckers laying on your land, that's where they came from. That's where the ideology was birthed. They don't like you. They're racist. They see you as less than human. You going to the motherland? The fatherland?
All right, what is your commentary to this?
At this point, what the fuck?
I just think that he's speaking on. I mean, he goes a little in depth, but he's just speaking on, and it's like an inferiority complex that I think we have as Black people, to where we glorify a lot of the things that the other side is doing. When if you really look at it and you really get the nitty gritty, it ain't no better than like what's going on in Africa or what we got. It's just that's always been glorified. It's always been kept from us. So it's like the grass is greener type of syndrome, man. The grass ain't really no greener. You go over there, they treat you just like they treat us here, when we should all, you know, be coming together and really connecting with our motherland and spending and putting more glorification on Africa and places where people come that look like us, that are just as beautiful. The tourism in some of these places are just as good, but we be so infatuated with the other side that I think we get blinded almost.
I remember a few years ago. Remember Fit?
Yeah.
The homie Fit, yeah, he tough. I fuck with him still. It's been a minute since I talked to him, but I remember the first time I showed him like downtown, like the Nigeria, and he was like blown away with how you know what I mean? Like it's not what you think, or if you haven't been shown it specifically, if somebody didn't intentionally show it to you, or you didn't intentionally go to look for it, you would still think it looks like them the video or the what was it, the ads they would show, the donation show, the joints, the commercials,
the 10 cents
the big
a day
belly,
and shit.
skinny big belly babies. You would still think that it was like that if you didn't actually mean to go and look at it. I remember showing him that joint and he was like super like, what the fuck? I was like, man, they just showed us what, you know what I mean? I don't care about going to no Europe, bro. I want to definitely go over to some countries in Africa. Eritrea is where my ex was trying to. Well, my wife, she wants to go wants me to see Eritrea. I don't really want to go to. They be in a war.
Well, I was gonna say probably it ain't best to go right now.
Yeah,
they better get invaded.
But they've been in war for a minute. You said by Ethiopia?
Yeah.
That war, they've been Ethiopian and Eritrea been going to war for a long time.
I think it's Tigray or something. They've been fighting, but it's some beautiful people that come from Ethiopia and Eritrea, bro. Yes. Oh my God.
Yes. That's a fact.
Hey, Tone, just run them all the way down to get to that spot.
Oh yeah. I'm going relevant. So Miss Amy was just saying relevant to this conversation. She was saying Europeans aren't as racist as American rednecks, at least not in the open. Africa is being colonized by China, which is true.
That's true.
Oh, that's
fast.
We know that.
And they selling out.
That's fast.
Color and race are American. All other countries focus more on nationalism.
Nigeria is the new China.
Switzerland is amazing, and they do not care about your color.
Switzerland has always been one of those places.
Oh, that's what you said you wanted to move, didn't you?
Well, no, I like their policies.
When we asked about that, you said you would move to Switzerland. Stand up, you. Matter of fact, I got a meme for you in a second. Don't worry, I got a meme for you, Johnny. Hey, Tone, go ahead and run those last few.
That was the one place over there that I fuck with. That was the one place.
It was one. I don't know what this conversation was relative to, but she said he ain't know no better. What if she put regular in your bins? I can't remember what we was talking about.
Nah, cool.
And then the last conversation, Miss Amy had said, I missed the conversation, but I think the reason hip hop is negative is because the labels are helping move the narrative of black men being thugs and women being thoughts.
And that goes to what you were saying, because you were trying to like blame it all on. But the thing is that the music that they are selecting to make the pop music, it is a selection that's happening, and it's obviously that
somebody
they aren't
choosing their radio playlist.
It's obviously that they are not selecting anything worth a damn. It's pretty obvious.
Well, yeah, talent's not what's the selection.
And they're not looking for longevity either. Obviously, they're not looking for longevity in the artist where you was. Before they were looking at, trying to make money for years. Now they like, oh, this the quick jump. Even though bro gonna be out of here within 2 years, we can get this bread real quick and get him out of here and then find the next one.
All right, Johnny, what you
got? You can go Diddy. I think that's a good point.
Oh shit,
it's a good point to leave it at. That's a good. I mean, we're here.
Oh, but y'all heard about like the whole settling thing? The reason it happened the way it did, as fast as it did, and everything.
Click it. Click the meme.
I like to hear. I've heard things I want to hear.
This speak kind of.
Her attorneys were really brilliant.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly
they didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporations.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance. Yeah. And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got two policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car. Let's say you have State Farm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State Farm says, we don't care, we did our investigation. Her attorneys were really brilliant. They didn't sue just Diddy. That's it. Yeah. That's what happened here. So because they added those claims, the corporate insurance carrier got to say, read over it and say, oh, hell no, we giving her the money.
We're hearing you. Diddy's public reputation is done.
It's done.
Yeah.
And if he wants to be able to leave anything to his children, he needs to walk away from all of these corporations.
Damn, he can no longer be the head of his corporations.
Well, remember, didn't I say directors and officers liability?
Yeah.
More than likely, what will happen is those insurance companies, they have the ability to say, we won't renew your policy if he continues to be a director or officer. That's it. That's what happened.
Man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how she got the bread so quick. They were saying that as an individual, you in New York, you wouldn't be able to give the money within before 21 days. So in New York, you have to, you can't settle within 21 days.
They make you wait.
But they make you wait. But because it wasn't directly from him, she got their bread. Like
the insurance saw that shit and was like, yeah, bro, it ain't looking too hot.
Yeah, we're pretty sure that let's just go ahead and kick this bread.
Hey, I'm a proponent. He should go ahead and sell it to 50. 50 trying to buy the stuff from him. You know,
50 been trolling him too.
50 been going in on him. But
I seen somebody.
That's the best way to go. Sell it to 50. Why you gonna sell it?
I don't like troll 50.
Nah, bro, I like 50. 50 be telling the truth.
I wouldn't sell that.
I was about to say, I don't think that he should actually sell it, but because what 50's doing, he's playing chess for sure. Like one of his last posts, he did something very strategic that's going to drive down the value of when he sells. Where he said, hey Puff, you might as well, and I've seen, this isn't like specifically my thought, like I've seen somebody, I'm reiterating it, but I thought they pointed out a really good point. Where his post was like, hey Puff, you should sell it before your sponsors, and then he named like 3 of the sponsors drop out, because then it's going to be worth less. In doing that, most people A, probably didn't know who his sponsors were, and then B, he put them on notice that you got to do something. In which now it also triggers the idea, like, let me sell it before this happens. And so like 50 playing
50's business mind is crazy, bro. Like
for sure.
Yeah, I don't like
his business mind crazy, bro.
I don't like him. T-Dude.
Oh yeah, I got you. All right, well,
what they come and say?
So yeah, go ahead.
People forget about how he stormed in and broke a champagne bottle over one of the exits in a record company in the early millennium. I believe it was on a Nas video over something about Jesus.
Oh no, my boy Diddy got too many reckless, wild stories.
Y'all ever seen Get Him to the Greek?
Yes.
I think that was his real personality.
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I think that was his real personality and Get Him to the Greek. Like, I was convinced that's the real Diddy.
You seen him as the Joker last year. He played that shit to it.
I'm like, that's his real
Hey,
personality.
but real quick, since we're Johnny, you got any more? Or
no, I'm tapped out.
All right. Let's start with me on
what the fuck you laughing at, man?
On do you see Scotty Beam and Shorty? It's 2 black ladies right there.
I'm gonna let you
black women.
Let me see which one you're talking about.
Right there. If she got an orange hat on.
Okay. I got you.
That kitty? No, that ain't kitty.
I don't know who Shorty is.
Media personalities are bitches. Bitch ass niggas. I love how these media personalities love to pick a very convenient time for you to stick to only talking about the music when the person is outed for being an abuser. I think you niggas love to suck celebrity dick, and you guys do it for the celebrity name and to have celebrities on your show. None of y'all commit to the honesty of being a media personality and speaking truth. Only when it has to do when doubting a woman, like Megan Thee Stallion. Remember, everybody had everybody had Discord.
Nobody needed more details. Nobody needed to see where the dust fell.
No. Y'all niggas are y'all are sheep. Y'all are fucking disgraceful, and I really wish that a lot of y'all can just sit. The reason why I'm out of the music stuff, and I do eventually want to get back into it, because the honesty is lost. Y'all niggas are fucking big whores for celebrities. Big time. And I love to pride myself on never being that. I've never been that. I'm now given I don't know a lot about what's going on behind, because I'm not best friends with these niggas.
Right. We don't be in the private rooms with these niggas.
Private rooms with these niggas, sucking dick with these niggas, or doing whatever else y'all niggas is doing.
I feel like that, bro.
So I will say, you niggas don't deserve to have a mic in front of your fucking mouths. Personalities that call yourselves media personalities are bitches. Bitch ass niggas. I love how these media personalities love to pick a very
okay.
All right, cool. All right, so
Goodness
to give really good context.
I'm surprised you was able to listen to that.
Like I've heard niggas say the same shit.
Say what?
Like literally that exact same thing. But like if a female says it or a male says it, doesn't really matter too much to me.
So let me ask you this before you go to
let's
the
get into
what she
the
said when she
actual-
was saying niggas and bitch ass niggas. Is she talking about men or is this in general?
No, she was speaking to two specific men in general.
Who were the two men?
All right, so and this is now. Let me give you better context. So what she's talking about is Diddy, and now she's talking about Diddy in the scope of Charlemagne and Joe Budden, our two most outspoken media personalities who are also tied to Revolt in Diddy. Guess what they have did over the past 2 weeks?
What's that?
Not said a goddamn word about this.
Why would they say anything?
But that's their boss.
No,
why would they say anything?
No,
that
but
just makes sense.
no, but all right. So if we're also keeping it real and fair, both of these people have made it's like Malika Andrews and the Josh Giddey shit. He knows what I'm talking about, and how Malika Andrews is consistently.
But that's different than
Malika Andrews is consistently going at black men, right? In the moment a white man did some crazy shit, she quiet as hell. Not a word. With those two, again, like and wait, hold on. Matter of fact, because you're going to use the boss shit. Joe Budden's boss is not Diddy, but they have a relationship. But the idea of like both of those two guys, their track record is about speaking truth to power. That's a major thing, especially if you go Joe Budden. Like he is Rage Against the Machine. He literally named the album.
Yeah.
And it's about calling out niggas that do shit wrong to females. Charlemagne's whole entire last 5-6 years is about speaking out about men doing negative shit to females. But as soon as relationships get entwined, like I don't care much about the Megan Thee Stallion shit that she said, but as soon as relationships get entwined, your actual what is it, like your journalistic integrity goes out the window. Now it's I gotta see. Mm-hmm. Same thing that we see as soon as like a white man get caught on ESPN doing some shit and a black man. We just seen what's the linebacker over there for Buffalo. He just got in trouble before any of the shit came out on his head. Same thing with homeboy that play Miles Bridges that played for the Hornet on his head. Josh Giddey, that nigga, he got sexual allegations with minors and ESPN ain't said a goddamn thing. There's a big issue when it comes to he's a white boy that played for OKC Thunder.
That's crazy.
And my thing is that what she's pointing out is a truth of the biasness of media, and like there's no real journalistic integrity that comes. And this is where we can really get into those conversations about the biased media. Like you can see it clear as day, especially when you have your most outspoken people close their mouths, edit out Joe Budden had a podcast episode he deleted because it started to sound a little bit like he was like coming at Diddy. Yeah. These are real things that actually happen. And again,
what I'll say is I don't know the inner workings of their deals or anything, but I will say that if it is the nigga that's funding something that you're doing and he possibly could have done something, you probably don't say anything. You know what I mean? It's not like you go to bat for him, but you don't say anything because number one, you don't know what the facts are. Number two, you even if you do, let's say that he did, it's not in your best interest for you, your family, for any of y'all to be just going out and speaking on some stuff like that. I understand what you're saying with the journalistic integrity thing. I understand what you're saying. At the end of the day, if you see, I mean,
I'm just saying you can't make a career off speaking truth to power, but when it actually comes down for you to do the thing, it's really, really convenient.
I mean,
to be able to speak truth to power when it has nothing to do with anything that you're connected to.
Yeah,
like that's the
sure.
easiest thing to do.
For sure.
And to me, I do think that there's some bitch assness in that. If when it actually means something.
When your livelihood's on the what you call
like what Diddy can do to Charlemagne or Joe Budden?
I don't know what that. I don't know what it is.
The answer is nothing.
I don't.
He
know.
doesn't own iHeartRadio.
But isn't
he
Breakfast Club own Revolt though?
That's the TV deal. He doesn't own iHeartRadio.
Yeah, I don't.
They've talked shit about they've talked shit about iHeartRadio. They've talked shit about CEOs of iHeartRadio. It's not like they haven't not talked shit about people. And like Joe Budden, while signed to Spotify, talk shit about Spotify. While signed to Eminem, talk shit about Eminem. It's not like he doesn't do this.
Let me ask you this, because I do think it's a little different if we're talking somebody who is a partner. I ain't gonna say boss, but like Ray say, your financials was taught. I think that is different than Malika Andrews, where she is supposed to report on all the players. Like none of the players in the
They're not
NBA.
supposed to report on all the news.
But if you're reporting on somebody who could affect you financially, I understand why you would be a little more hesitant to speak out versus Malika Andrews. There's nothing to keep her from speaking out against Josh Giddey because they're all NBA players. She's just being unfair in how she cuts. So I do think there's a difference between Charlemagne, Joe Budden, and what Malika Andrews. I don't think that's apples to apples comparison. Now I will say I do agree.
They both fruit like a motherfucker. If you know what I'm saying, if you ain't saying apples to apples, it's fruit like a motherfucker.
I mean, it's fruit, and I do agree with what, like, I mean, you should be able to speak out. And
Nigga, I don't believe shit you say no more. If you can't speak truth to power when it matters, like a reason why people can respect Malcolm X is because of when he found some shaky shit in the nation, said something, got up out of there. Like the niggas I respect is niggas that when it actually matters, I can say some shit to the people in power of me. It's so easy to speak truth to like shit that you don't like.
Also,
like that shit corny as fuck to me. To be honest,
I'm with you. I feel like that's the whole downfall of black culture. In general.
I agree. You can't like hoorah Charleston White and then be mad at me, except when niggas kowtow to a fake boss of theirs. He's not even there.
What about personal relationships? How much did that matter? Like
listen,
like,
do you got personal relationships with niggas that's raping bitches? I ain't friends with rapists. I'm sorry.
I mean, me neither.
Hey, he just put you in the goddamn.
Nah. I'm not saying, but I'm saying if it's an allegation, and you have a personal relationship, you may not. I understand why you may not speak. You know, if it's somebody you have a personal relationship or a business partnership.
I think that my only point was there's a difference between taking up for someone and not saying anything.
Right.
There's a difference between. I'm not saying that I don't watch Joe Budden like that, and I don't watch Charlemagne like that, so I don't know what they. You know what I mean? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that like there is a difference between saying nothing and co-signing a nigga. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like in certain scenarios, if it's just like you say, if it's not directly tied to you, then you may not wait for the information to drop all the way. But if it is tied to you, then you may want to wait before you start speaking out against somebody that could be close to you, or that actually has an influence on what's going on in your life. Yeah. I understand where you can. I'm not saying that it's the. I understand the logic behind it. It's probably the smarter move.
Oh, I feel like I've said my thoughts.
That nigga said.
So again, to
Johnny,
me, like,
you got friends as rapists?
No,
yeah.
I'm just
again. I don't know. Again, my thing is that then just say that you was sometime a nigga, and I report the news sometime, and not that I'm authentic in what I say is actually what I feel, and I report on what I feel consistently. Like,
but what if I don't feel a way?
Oh, and again, that's cool. That's cool. Again, I'm speaking about two niggas that have built their platform on calling out the exact thing.
No, I get it.
And so, like, if you call out that exact thing, and then again, don't be heavy on women. Joe Budden would be heavy on women sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, when you see the nigga inside that spotlight, it's like, I'm gonna just like.
I don't know if it has anything to do with that though.
And I'm again, like I said, I thought that was nasty work, and I thought that again. I don't disagree with Shorty. I think that there's bitch assness. If your quote unquote associate is the reason why you won't speak actual truth to power, then there's some bitch assness to it.
All right, what you got next, bro?
You actually got one in here.
Who, me?
Q. Like I've been seeing clips pop up from this, and this was last week. But
gotcha. Hey, and Tone, as you do this, and this is plain, try to go to my messages and pull up in a Facebook tab, like one of them incognito ones. I did have a video sent in to me this weekend.
Okay,
that from somebody that wanted to.
You
put
said
it
in
on
your
the top.
in your messages.
It's inside the To Be Fair messages for me.
Okay.
But you can play what you want to play first.
Yeah, I just seen these clips popping up. This is Ashna Sarah. She was on tonight's conversation. And I seen this in your post. This is actually the lady who led me like 19 keys and all of them. Like I actually like her. But yeah, she was talking some good stuff. So I just want to see what
And you
clip
said
had
she
in.
led you?
Like she the part like that's how I found 19 keys.
Oh, she led you
Brother
to
Ben.
them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like seeing her on my timeline. That's what led me.
They laugh about anything. I just wanted to know what you meant.
No. Come on, bro. He knew what he was doing when he said
No,
that.
he just said.
And a lot of times we don't talk about how women date their sons. And single mothers oftentimes do everything but their sons. And that's the reason why I say, you know, a single mother is a boy factory. And the reason why I say that is because it's not that a boy can't be birthed from a two-parent home, although it is, you know, it's an abnormality, you know, it's an anomaly of sorts that you would encounter a significant amount of subpar men that have been raised in instructive two-parent homes. But single women become so emotionally dependent upon their children, specifically their sons, that they will convince themselves that they don't need a man until they encounter the space from being alone to genuinely being lonely. And now we're having to deal with the imbalance that was set in the household because this boy is not your son. He is your man. When you want to cuddle, you go lay down with them. When you want some emotional time, you go watch movies with them. You touch them and you rub them and you massage them. And you do these things, everything that you would do to a man to suffice that. A lot of women even dress their sons like the man that broke their heart.
You had this in your joint?
Yeah, this
I had that.
That's crazy. I didn't expect that from Q.
Are y'all gonna talk about
What's
it?
your commentary on it, bro?
I want to see. I want to think you should start it.
No, I put it in there for y'all to comment on it.
Oh, I'll go last then.
I mean, I don't really have that. I mean, I think I've seen it in real life. I mean, I don't really have no opinion on how people were raising their kids, but I've seen, you know, I think you see the evidence when you learn how people are raised, and you be like, oh, okay, I understand why you might act this way. Oh, okay, you come from a solid foundation. I get why you act that way. So I mean, I agree with her completely. I agree.
Yeah, I guess like the simplest way that I would say is that I am a proponent of a two-family household. And a lot of what she speak to was that when she said like the outliers, but yeah, I don't know. I think that when you do see that, that is a quote unquote red flag. That is something that you can quickly identify when a woman is like, my son is my king, or something like that.
That's crazy.
I think that those are those are white, not white flags. Those are red flags. Shit, it's probably a white flag to throw the towel in. But I don't know.
I think that also interferes with like the structure of what a family is supposed to be when it's a whole family unit. Because like you think about it, you have these single women who have sons and they treating their son like the king. Then a man comes along in their life, and they might get married and everything. She don't give the son, the husband, the actual husband position. The son still has that position to a degree.
Maybe I don't specifically know a lot of these scenarios,
Yeah.
but I will say that I think that coddling, because that's kind of what he was speaking about, like the overly babying your kid for an extended period of time. We reacted to a meme a couple of weeks ago about like the whole stepfather, son, and mother dynamic with moving out, in which I think a bit of this does lead to what is called arrested development. And like you can see that inside a bit of our generation, in which I don't know if we're like the single parent generation or if it's a generation before us. You know what I mean? Like you can see the arrested development in there.
Yeah, honestly, bro, I've not heard of anything going as far as that. Like what she talking about, then you lay down with them, and I've not heard if it's that extreme.
Yeah, actually, didn't know it was gonna do that.
Oh yeah, I think that's a bit extreme. That's a bit extreme. I haven't seen anything like that or heard of anything like that. If you're doing that, then you're definitely murdering your son,
bro. I mean,
yeah, you're murdering your son for sure too. Because I mean, I understand, like, as a single mother, the boy, as he gains age, if she's still single, which that's kind of crazy, but if she's still single, like as he's growing it, and he becomes at an age where he's old enough to call himself or think of himself as the man of the house, that becomes, you know what I mean, it kind of puts you as the woman and him as the man, as the boy or child in a weird scenario.
Yep. All right, so it seems like we have some agreement with that. Again, this next one is going to be one that was sent into me. Hey, shout out Unc.
This Unc.
Yeah, I thought he sent it out. Say, hey, yeah, play it on the show. Go ahead and push play, Johnny. Not Johnny, Tone.
Dang, just gave me a whole new name. Johnny now.
I was trying to do.
Verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Your church denomination is a false religion. John Smith created the Baptist religion in 1608. Charles Parham created the Pentecostal religion in 1901. Joseph Smith created the Mormons religion in 1830. Charles T. Russell created the Jehovah's Witness religion in 1872. William Miller created the Seventh-day Adventist religion in 1863. They're all man-made religions. Acts chapter 5, verse 29. We are to obey God rather than man. Ask yourself this question. How is it that in our neighborhoods, there can be 4 churches on one block? In 20 years, nothing in the area gets better because God's not in them. Acts chapter 7, verse 48. Howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands. You have been deceived. True religion is realignment with nature and the laws that govern the cosmos, which is simplicity and compassion. That's true religion.
Toss it up in the air.
Well, no, I was
chapter 8, verse 32.
Thinking, I was having a conversation yesterday, yesterday, about like black folks and like our connection, not just to the church, but to the internet, to the phones, and how like they say realignment with nature, and how like I think as a culture we're not connected to the earth anymore. These devices, this technology is taking us away with our true connection to like the earth, and
So you feel like before, like phones and things, we were more connected to the earth?
Absolutely. You go outside. I mean, weather and stuff would be like a major. The reason it's a major thing is because it actually, like, before we had phones and stuff that could artificially, affect our dopamine levels. The amount of sunlight you would get would affect it. And when it was rainy, that's why you was sad. But now you can just sit in the house and not even go outside, and so the weather don't really matter. But whatever it is going on this phone, the screens is gonna be what artificially, messes with your dopamine levels.
I was just saying that was a bean. Like that was a good point.
Oh yeah. So I think that's facts. We got to get back out. Like I've even like been wanting to. I ain't done it yet, but like going like camping and hiking and just like.
I'm good.
Touch earth. Well, I feel like
I don't want to go nowhere that I can die. Like if things go wrong,
nigga, you can die anywhere.
If things go wrong, like it's certain things.
Niggas, you know how many people done died in the city?
No, they do. But
like, so I mean, you could die anywhere.
Like going places like, but those are things that I have to do. Like when I don't have to do things like skydiving, I'm probably not trying to do that.
Hiking and skydiving are two totally different things.
Let me build to it.
My man say he'll die camping. What you
like,
dying from, bro? It's just a tent and like a fire, bro.
Oh my bad. I thought like, when you said that you were talking about like camping in the wilderness, where there's actual real animals and bears and snakes.
Bro, you ain't gotta go camping where bears are.
So where are you going to camp it? If you're going up in any mountains,
bears don't kill people like that. You know how many white people are camping out there in the wilderness? You know how many people bears kill a year?
You know how many bears I see on all these campsites that we went to?
Bro,
what
bears.
Campsites you went to?
Like the one up in Pigeon Forge. Like they like there's bears there. Like the bears come up and
all they want is your food. They're not gonna kill you.
No, I'm cool on bro pulling up. Period. Yeah, I'm cool on bro pulling up.
I get that. But I'd have been. I'd be afraid of a bear pulled up, but I also don't think like just because I go camping, a bear is gonna kill me.
It's not gonna happen. It's not, the chances of that happening are very.
Johnny, go camping in the mountains in the wilderness.
in the wilderness.
I'm good. I'm good.
And that's why I ain't been, because none of my black friends want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I ain't going. I'm too old for that shit now, bro.
Yeah.
I'd have been. You know what I mean?
That's code word for danger.
No, it's not
If some
danger.
shit
I
pop
like,
out, it's
I like
danger.
my mattress. See, the way my mattress set up.
Man,
you know
your
what I
ass
mean?
went camping in the military. That shit don't count, bro.
No, but what I'm talking about is now. No, before I'm talking when I was younger, bro. But I
Did you go camping outside the military?
When I was younger, growing up, yes.
Hey, when World War III gets started, we all get drafted. We ain't gonna be able to.
I can't go. Y'all niggas gonna go. I already
too
been.
old.
I done done my time.
I'm close enough to 40. I'm straight.
Nah, you going. So you gonna pull y'all cards. I already got my out. I'm cool. I done gave him mine.
I did my time.
I did mine, bro. He ain't saying nothing in my crib, bro. We good.
Man, did y'all have any other thoughts on the video?
Oh yeah, I feel like at the end of the day,
I thought this was gonna spark you.
No, it is. I was just letting y'all comment first.
He said, "I'm gonna let y'all finish."
What is what makes anything that we're like really like? What's not man-made? What system of like a structured system that we actually would abide by, or any population of people that would abide by that's not man-made?
I guess I'll throw that probably tone. I think if you're a stark religious person, there's a lot of religious things that aren't supposed to be man-made.
I mean, even if God spoke, let's say that God spoke to the man, which then wrote down what it is that God told them, it's still coming from a man.
So I actually want to play this video since you just said that. This is perfect for this. I gotta actually pull this up in the private thing. I just realized.
Hey, bears are just huge, hairy rats.
Hey, you guys start. Hey, tell them click them as they come up so we can.
Any of y'all seen the shaven bear?
Oh yeah.
I have not.
Click both of them on it.
We go see.
But actually, Majid says that's who sent in the meme.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then he said the relationship with God should be first. Did you all notice all these religions were started by European men? Think about it. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like what the guy was saying even in the beginning of the video, like he was talking about how basically all these religions was man-made. If you actually people don't read the Bible. That's my whole thing. All they made these religions that was man-made and everything. And if they actually would have read what the word was, it speaks against what they was doing. But people still following it to this day. And it actually speaks against what they're doing. So it'd be like,
So you saying that in the Bible it speaks against people
changing the word, changing stuff to fit their means and everything. Because most of the people are confused around the world about the Bible because they don't know what it says.
Oh, I think that a lot of people are confused as well because they don't use a concordance as well.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna need in the concordance to read the Bible.
My boy here.
Otherwise, you have no idea what
when you go to the meme you about to go to. The new comment.
Oh, okay. I like this one. All religions are man-made. I got feedback about saying I don't believe in God. I need to clarify. I don't believe in the way that God has been defined.
Okay. And the Bible is man-made. The Quran as well. That's what
okay.
it
Yeah.
says.
So that's why I want to go to this video. I think this little boy actually explained this very well.
I don't listen to little boys.
Oh, I think there was a little boy that I was looking at that kind of was. I don't know if it's the same video you seen or not.
Yeah, but he explained
Johnny,
this
how
in
you
a
feel
way
about
I
little
thought.
boys?
The fuck? That's why I ain't coming. I'll let y'all talk about little boy.
Man and inspired by God through the Holy Spirit. So what they basically trying.
I'm gonna refresh this.
All right.
Written by man and inspired by God through the Holy Spirit. What they basically trying to say is like God had no part in writing the Bible, and it was just because a man wanted this to happen, and that was what gonna happen, or some junk like that. The thing is, why would man write something that completely goes against human nature? Men love to, not just saying like men, but like man as in humanity. People, they like to go out and have multiple partners. But the Bible says, no, wait until marriage and have that one person. You get what I'm saying? The Bible goes completely against our fleshful nature. It goes completely against our evil and wicked desires. Why would man do something like that? It was inspired by God through the Holy Spirit. God used man to write down. It's just like God was the author and he used man as the pencil to write down on the paper. You get what I'm saying?
This is literally
yes, the Bible was written by.
But this is literally what it even say in the Bible, that it was inspired. And I can see that consistently. Like the Bible was written over time periods. It wasn't just like it was written in one day. And a lot of what people get caught up in is that they don't understand the context. Like when it comes to the 10 Commandments, for instance, those 10 commandments was given to the group of Hebrews at the time that was living back there. Yeah, the mic done fell on me and everything.
Pissed him off.
Yeah,
nigga knocking shit over.
But basically, like those laws was given to the Hebrews at that time, those Israelites at the time. We still sitting there fighting over stuff like it was to us. We don't read stuff in context or even what it's saying, but it's saying that this was inspired, and I can believe that because for all these people over, I forgot how many years they said the Bible was written over, but for all these people to write at different times, not know each other, and come up with stuff that like for the synchronicities that's there, even if you read, and like I was reading in Esther this week, it gives names and time periods. Like you literally can look up these names and time periods and see that this stuff is true. So I think a lot of people just don't read it and they get a confusion from that. The man-made stuff.
I would say it's a lot of confusion, and like I say, I'm not one to read the Bible, but I understand the idea. And what it's crazy because once you start like even hearing people that are actually reading the text from the Bible, like a lot of the stuff that you were taught
Why don't you
in
read
church.
the Bible? If like you identify with that belief system in general.
No. I'm not Christian, so I don't.
No, but it seems like typically from my conversation with you, it seems as though like most of what you say, feel, and you build your belief system around tends to be something of the Bible in a Christian sect.
You know what? You know the crazy thing is that I wonder where it comes from myself, because at the end of the day, the way that I move and carry and have things around me, like it's just that it's naturally like what I like.
But what I hear you quote is typically like things from the Bible. Like if you say favor ain't fair or something like that, like these are things that are words from the Bible.
I don't know if favor ain't fair is
in
the Bible. Yeah, I don't know if that's in the Bible.
I just looked it up recently. Well, nonetheless, all right. So here we go. It's churchy because I looked it up. Go ahead.
Either way. So there's for me the way I think of like right and wrong, right, or the way that my moral character, the way I build, you know what I mean, who I am. I don't know how, but it just leans closer to that. So like I want to investigate the Bible more. The reason why I can't say, I won't give an excuse as to why I haven't like jumped into reading it. But I will say is that like a lot of the things that I believe in that I was in the church when I was younger, but know me more, you know what I mean, pretty much more than half of my life. And you ain't never known me to go to church. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, a lot of the moral character, the things that I build who I am on and stand on, they mirror a lot of the things in the Bible. So like that's why I'm interested in reading it, so that I can kind of come up with my own understanding. Because at the end of the day, I think that what we've done is listen to a lot of church folk and pastors regurgitate things that aren't necessarily in the Bible, and then what they'll do is like, I think that everyone's walk is an individual walk. So I don't want a pastor to interpret the word for me. I need to interpret the word for myself.
Gotcha.
As far as like, and hold on, but as far as like the way that pastors will interpret things, at the end of the day, I believe that this may work for you. Like the way that you're interpreting this word, it may be for you, but that doesn't mean it's for me. Your interpretation of what's being said could literally just sit in a place that fills a void for you in your life. But it may not necessarily be where I need this word to sit for me. So I'm intrigued into getting into it, like I say, because it's like a lot of the things kind of align with like who I am.
No, I get that. I think you answered an adjacent question, but not the question, because you talked about how you want to, but your quote was that you don't.
Yeah.
And my question was, why don't you?
I would say it's probably just laziness.
Okay. Hey, Tone, it seems like we got like
we
multiple
and,
paragraphs. So just start from the top and run it down.
All right, let's see. We'll start right here.
They get crazy on that religion, John.
All right, so Miss Amy said the Bible is man-made, the Quran as well, and all of those books are set up to define who is chosen. And she said sex outside of marriage is to ensure paternity. Men don't want to support children that aren't theirs. And trust, I've read the Bible cover to cover more than once. I'm gonna continue with her comments right now because we got some more in between. Case in point, most sins are flagged in Leviticus, but it's the book that outlines your punishments. Jesus died as the ultimate sacrifice, and he said that there are only two things to do: love your God, love your neighbor, nothing else matters. But men want to flag sins for salvation. Okay, I'll be quiet. I gotta put all these up here. Miss Amy, I actually like what you're saying here, because we might have got some confusion last week, but I actually like exactly what you're saying, because that is the truth.
Especially love your God, love your neighbor. That right there.
This is exactly what it says. These were the instructions that we were given we get confused by a lot of stuff. Like, but if you read in the Old Testament, you actually reading it in context. These laws was given to those people. If we was looking at it now, I know who the true Israelites is, but if we was looking at it to how we've been told in the world, we would be the Gentiles. We wasn't included in that. Now, truthfully, I know like we was included in that. That was to us. But if you read this Bible, you'll know who they was talking to. But this rule was to a group of people, the Israelites. They wasn't even Israelites at the beginning when he gave it to them. They became Israelites after Jacob's name became Israel. Jacob is actually a person in the Bible who became, his name was changed to Israel, and the nation was built from him. That's what Israel is. So a lot of people don't understand the context of the stuff that's being talked about because they don't read it. We just been listening to pastors and listening to people, and we have been controlled. The Bible has been used to control people, but it's been used to control people because they're not reading it, and they're not reading it in context.
Well, a lot of people couldn't read back in the day.
We talking about now,
though, bro. And even I don't want to hear that no more, Johnny, because the Bible was around before slavery, bro. The Bible was around before slavery. I'm so tired of hearing that. The Bible is a world book.
Just making a point, bro.
Let's clarify though. The Bible is a world book. It's not just a book that was written in America and put in slaves was this was a world book. This was people was reading this before it was written in English.
My only point was even outside of slavery. Even outside of slavery, when you go back when they first reading was something that was a privileged thing. And the reason they put shit in books, and people have to read the books and go back and
so
tell
let me
you.
ask you something. Do you
now
think
that we all
black
can read
people
it don't matter? Even outside of black people, I'm just talking about like even if you go back to Romans and like when they first wrote it, not everybody was reading and writing.
Bro, how was they?
Hey, before y'all get deep into this conversation, finish reading them and then y'all finish the conversation.
Okay, let's go to my just. We had two more. The Bible was written by man about God and the many stories that they had with their relationships with Jesus. But these religions were developed by men and their theories. And I agree with that. The same thing I was just saying. Then Ms. Sharon said, how can it be that the Father and the Son be one person?
Okay, all right. If y'all want to jump back in, or if y'all want to respond to any of them, I just wanted to make sure we got those out the way.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to answer those all the way. Like,
get back to where y'all was at. Do we have anything new that's just recently popped up?
Pastors that haven't even been educated, they just get called and start being judgmental.
Yeah,
I agree. This is a lot of what's been going on, and it deters people from the true message. Like, I'm somebody who I hope I can inspire people to read the true message. I hope I'll be making that clear on this show, because for years I didn't read this, and then when I started reading and finding out, oh, this is really what it says. Oh, this is the context that this was spoken in, but this pastor told me this, and this ain't had nothing to do with what it was actually saying.
And then also you got to look at, like, at the end of the day, when you start to get to a point to where you're a pastor, it becomes a business. So you're trying to keep the building.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. You're trying to pay rent and pay utilities out of this institution, in which they get. I would say that it becomes. I would believe that it becomes much easier for you to, you know what I mean, to start to prioritize. Like, that's like what we would do. What's the content that's working? What's the content that's gonna make them feel good? What's the content that's gonna push this and make them, get them to shout and then pass this plate around, and we can possibly get an extra $5. You know what I mean? From so it becomes a business, and then
church has nothing to do with the Bible.
And that's the thing.
But it's the other part though.
The concept of like going to church and listening to the pastor, that has nothing to do with actually like reading your Bible and knowing your word. And that's all I was saying earlier was like not a lot of people really read and they write the book, and then you go and instead of reading it, you go to the church on Sunday and have this man explain it to you, and then if you don't actually go back and check up and like fact check him, you don't know if he's lying to you or not.
Now I will say there are some good pastors out there, because I don't want to put everybody in the same boat, but we definitely have been fooled. And a lot of what goes on is it's not that they don't want to speak the truth. These pastors have 501c3s.
Yes.
So the same thing we was just talking about with like the Diddy and the Cassie thing and people not wanting to speak up about that. The same thing happens with these pastors. They doing the same thing the world doing.
No, that's a very fact.
That's true.
One of the things that drove me away from church back originally was I had a pastor. He sexually assaulted our.
Oh, that'll do it.
Or what was it called? The minister of music.
And that's what turned him.
That's crazy.
No, but no. I thought it was funny that like you would be teaching like abstinence and stuff like that, and then Come to find out, you trying to get your freak on in the sanctuary.
Crazy.
But
they did it on the church ground.
It happened on the church ground, but
that's crazy.
But to me, what always stuck out to me was bro, like left the church and was at whole nother church, and she was still suing our church,
the institution.
Oh, the music director was a female.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey,
You
yo,
assume it was a dude. Like,
they usually be.
Hey,
that.
bro,
Listen.
there's stuff that go on.
Bro.
Like,
but to me,
Tone know where
I'm not gonna call the dude, but there's stories. Like,
oh, I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah, this is like, bro. Like,
but so that always stuck out to me, where like he was acting in the church name, and then like the suit. He ain't had nothing to do with the suit. He just moved on with his life, and it was the church that was sitting there holding holding that bag.
Yeah,
and that's when I realized that this is like a corporation. This is a business.
Mm-hmm.
This don't really have nothing to do with like my salvation or like my thing. They got a whole organization and rules and shit that go behind this thing, and that's when I started looking and developing my own relationship with God outside of what was being fed to me in church.
Just real quick, and when you know what kind of killed me with the church house back in the day too. I remember that we was, my family, we were struggling, and we had been members at this church for some time, Mom Dukes, and I remember seeing Mom Dukes faithfully getting that envelope, putting that bread in that envelope, and putting it down in the basket every Sunday. And we had gotten a tight spot, and I would probably need to go back and speak to my mom again and kind of get some more information as to how everything went as an adult. But like I remember specifically them saying that they wasn't going to help because we hadn't been at the church long enough.
Wow.
And this was like a help with like a utility,
Mm.
you know what I mean, like lights or something like that. And you sitting here, but I've seen her week. You know how many? It's a lot of weeks in a year, but I don't know. We were there for a year. She didn't put it in there many times. And then you gonna sit here and say that you're not gonna help because she ain't giving, so you ain't got enough bread, is what you saying.
Yeah,
for you to give me. So out of what she done, I know that she done cleared well over 300. So if the bill was this is back in the day, so it probably wasn't even like
120.
Yeah, so you telling me she couldn't get that back? And that right there really like murdered the church house for me. You know what I mean? And like Unc was saying earlier, we talk about how you got churches all through the hood. Like I live in a hood where it's churches all through the neighborhood. And what you know what I mean? I don't know.
Only motherfucker benefit is that pastor driving that Benz.
Well, I don't know if they drive a Benz or not, but
they usually do.
I just know that like the hood is still the hood. Like I ain't seen y'all outreach program beating the streets in the hood that you benefiting from. I ain't seen it. Maybe it's happening, but I ain't seen it.
Yeah. All right. So I think that this has been a good conversation. This is also another promo. Send the memes into the To Be Fair Show DM at the To Be Fair Show on Instagram.
Yep.
And again, we'll react and have full conversations out for your with your memes.
I actually wanted to highlight on something Miss Amy said real quick.
Okay.
And read this from, like she said, love your God, love your neighbor, nothing else matters.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. Like just the scripture, I was sitting there, I had to look up the scripture in the Bible because I want to read this. Like how the Bible defines religion. So this is from James 1:27. It says, clean and undefiled religion before the Elohim and Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction and to keep oneself unstained from the world. That's what religion is there. So it's like, it's really more about you and loving people.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Got you. Can I get the spread back up, Paul?
Oh, talking about on yours?
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah,
It's
we
crazy
got
how a pause to make your mind go like further than it was even necessary to even. Like I could have dealt with that as a regular, you know what I mean? Just a regular.
It was supposed to be regular.
Pause.
But I felt like
what?
Yeah. Go all the way up to the top. All the way up.
I'm up.
You go to where it says "So Johnny."
So
Johnny, real quick. Are you an American?
I'm an African American.
All right, so what are you talking about?
I'm an African.
All right. What are you talking about?
They put a word in for the my American.
But you have a United States passport.
So all I'm
Johnny,
saying, they put a word in for the my.
All right, my bad. Sometimes I be getting
again.
With Johnny, usually he's not black and he's not an African American. So Johnny, real quick. All right, that's it. So I would like to take this time to ask you really quickly. Today, what are you identifying? Are you identifying as American, Black, African American?
I'm feeling.
Are you are you ADOS? I just want to know, what are you today, so I know which conversation we have.
Cameras on you and only you.
Right. You got it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here.
This is the weekly Johnny check-in.
We got to check in. Well, today I woke up feeling black as hell.
Okay, so you just
black today.
I'm feeling black.
He's just black today.
I'm feeling black today, based on where I was going with, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm feeling black today.
Okay, all right. Could you scroll down?
That ain't even a meme, bro. Like, hey, you can't send our shit in.
I think that's one of the better parts. Scroll down and get to we're gonna go whatever the Jackson dude is. It's just a pure meme. Keep scrolling. Have you passed it?
I might have.
Jackson, look Jackson. Like,
go up.
You got my guy right here too.
Oh, there you go, right there.
Which one?
Black man. It's right below.
Bottom right.
Right here.
I don't know. You gotta wiggle it. You see. It's the same. It's the same row as homeboy with the that's it right there. You just wiggled it on it. Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot y'all can't see it as fast as I can.
It says, when a man is handsome, educated, have money, but still single, what could be the problem? I like to ask y'all fellas this question.
I would say that he's just not applying it. So
I would say that he's exercising options. Yeah. He just dropping shit off right now.
He just fucking these hoes?
Yeah, he just dropping shit off. I think that's the answer.
Is exercising options a good thing?
It's
like being like, all right, and I think that it's always good to be like, let's place this as a 30. Like we're all let's just say the average age 35. I
see where this is going.
I would say that as a single man, as long as you're being honest about your what your intentions are.
The mindset of a man at 35 years old should be dropping shit off.
No. What I'm saying is that if you are doing that, if it's a harmless crime, a victimless crime, then it's a victimless crime. But at the end of the day, I think that, in my opinion, you should definitely be looking to try to settle down. That you know what I mean? That's my opinion. You should be looking to try to settle down. But along the way, you know what I mean? You got to figure it out. So you got to figure out who it is. So there's some fun that's had along the way.
So again, like you're handsome, educated, 35-year-old, single. Well, I forget whatever the rest of it was.
Then he said you had money.
And you had money. What could be the problem? What you think, Johnny? Is this you?
I'm 34.
Okay, not
quite. He's a narcissist.
But it's
34.
That's the first.
Are you the problem?
I mean, probably so. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a thing where he doesn't want to be settled down. Like if you're handsome,
so you still being a little boy,
educated, you got money, you got all the things that a motherfucker would want. It's just whether it's
trying to be a heathen,
commitment issues.
I don't know.
Commitment issues. It could be your mental health. That could also be.
So what is your diagnosis?
It's what could be the problem?
Yeah,
it's the guy. He's the problem.
So you're the problem.
We're not talking about me.
I mean, I thought that's where Q seemingly. It seemed to me that Q was asking you a personal question.
This wasn't specifically a personal question. I thought that the average age appeared. So because the easy out is that when you're 20, wild the fuck out. That's the issue is that you should be sowing your oats. To me, like 26 and under. Go ahead and sow your oats. You all right?
Don't sow oats.
Do your thing. I say sow your oats because of when you get older, it makes you less likely to look at the grass as like greener on the other side.
Pay for that when you get older.
I don't necessarily agree. You actually believe that?
You got to pay. It's consequences that can come from your 20s while you out there sowing your oats.
Well, of course. All right. So let's not like take it that far. What I'm saying is that a guy who has experienced life at a good enough abundance, when you're younger, when you get older, you don't look at the grass as it's greener. You look at the grass as the grass. Like you understand that any other scenario that's out there, it comes with all the things that comes inside this scenario.
So I got a question. So what you're saying is that you believe that a man that has multiple sexual partners when he's younger, then when he gets older, he'll probably not need to have more sexual part. He'll be okay with having one, more than likely.
I don't know. I think
That's what it sounded like you was just saying.
I think that's a dependent thing. I think that so yeah. Let me finish it out. I think that depending on the person, I think that I think that in general, I would say if you want to be committed in a relationship, if you've had your 20s full of fun, it's way easier to settle down because you don't feel like you don't have FOMO. You don't have a fear of missing out on anything. You understand what the thing is. If you've not did anything, if you got married at 18, 21, 25, 24, 23, and all you've seen your adult life is all the grass. And all you're thinking about is like what it could be,
I find it funny how like when people make a point to go on the other side of their point, they go to an extreme example. You ever like when you say like you should have fun during your 20s, and then to go to like if he's gonna get married at 19, 20, I think that like at the end of the day, I don't think that it takes for a man to have
example.
I think the extreme example will be pretty much just like going from dropping because I don't think you was thinking like he dropping off everything he see. It didn't sound like you were giving that more of a negative connotation. It was more of a light connotation as to like he's just kind of being 20, and then
I wasn't putting any connotation on anything. I think that like if you felt that might be like just like a personal perspective on it. But what I'm saying is that in general, like if you've experienced more, like I think that in general we all yearn for experience, and whether you get it early or later, the yearn for it is going to be there. In which, if we're speaking about the arrested development part, usually arrested development comes from the idea of not being able to get something when you're younger, i.e. Michael Jackson, and then you try and live your adulthood out doing that. That's arrested development. That's what this was based off of.
Okay,
this wasn't like any extreme of anything or like me. Yeah.
So your idea is that in order for a person to be committed, or let's just say generally, in order for a person to be able to be committed, they probably need to go through their whole phase in their 20s. And then in your 30s, you'll probably be mid-30s till later, you'll probably be able to maintain the idea of being
I'm not making
person.
a sweeping generalization, because there's some people that's been married at 22 and then they are able to be like faithful and they're like God-fearing and they're like really good at that shit. I think that if I went a majority, then I would say yes. Like all the people, or not all the people, a majority of the people that I know that was in college, they got married, got divorced. Like younger 20s, got married, got divorced, or had infidelity issues. I have definitely seen that inside the higher percentile.
I think that that's just because marriage is hard, though. I don't think that that's necessarily because niggas need to have more sex earlier on. I think that that's just because marriage is hard.
That's
my opinion.
I guess if your opinion, so if what you're saying is that in general, people don't want for what they haven't experienced, then I'll tap out.
Well, I mean, if you haven't, it's a different. That's what I was saying with the extreme is that you're saying like having experience versus, so it's like being a hoe or haven't experienced it at all.
But it's not a space of like being a hoe, like whatever you.
So an oats mean a hoe.
Like, but
that's what so oats mean, bro.
Oh, and that's cool.
And I'm not talking about women. I'm talking about men. We talk as men. We're talking about as men right now.
And if we're saying like being a hoe, what the fuck does that mean for real?
Now
let me build this, because of like some niggas can fuck 15 girls, some niggas can fuck 40. There's a different sense of being a hoe, and to whatever that person can get, like they're happy with that because they understand whatever they're able to bring in, and that's just the reality of what the shit is.
That actually goes to my topic for once we get into the topics. But yeah, that's true. At the end of the day,
but that's what I'm saying. Like being a hoe,
right?
But that's what I'm saying. Being a hoe means different for different people. But I also say, like, if you're a nigga that can get a bunch of bitches, you get a bunch of bitches, and you've had those and you've seen the headache that a bunch of bitches bring you.
What was we just talking
you
about?
You tap out and be like, all right, I'm good with a bunch of bitches. I want a good bitch.
There's a bunch of bitches now, bro.
We
just talking about this before the show.
All right, bunch of females. Here we go.
No, they all bitches. We just talking about this before the show.
No, I got you. If you want to pass over the point that I made,
the point was good. I just had to call you out on that.
But I wasn't the one that said I didn't say that. I never said that. That wasn't a word that I said.
Y'all get on him for using the B word so loosely like that. Get on him. He needs it. We don't do that here at the 2B Fair Show.
LeBron said last night, don't use that word so loosely.
We can't hear you because your mic ain't by your face, my boy.
Miss Amy said the problem is he wants to be single and he thinks that his value is connected to his pockets and appearance and not his character. He is better than being taken and cheating.
How value man 101.
Yeah, I agree.
Kevin Samuels said, exercise your options and female shut up. Because that nigga got money.
That's what he said.
And you're a housewife.
That's what we gonna do.
That's what he said.
That's what we gonna do.
Hey, no lie. I like Kevin Samuels before he got before he got the good camera and he fixed like the hairline and shit. And he was wearing the skinny glasses.
You talking about when he was murdering dudes?
When he was wearing the skinny glasses, he just was like in his bag, like he was being regular.
So
when he put the blockers
I don't want to
on,
act like I'm just going to bat for my guy, but at the same time, and man, we can do this on the show. I ain't gonna we're gonna double back to Kev on the show.
Magic said marriage is not for everyone. It's just a device that is basically to make people into a worldwide fraternity.
Possibly.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
I'm not an advocate.
I do got one more video for y'all this week. From my girl, love her.
Oh yeah, all right. Damn, I've been sleeping on my girl.
Yeah,
hey, don't say you love my old lady again,
hey, bro.
Don't say you love my old lady.
Hey, bro. She just intelligent, baby.
You say what?
The craziest things about our society that is normalized, like it's normal, everybody just accepts it, but it's actually very ludicrous, is the fact that we have all these ways, all these methods of communicating, but no one is understood. The purpose of communicating in general is to get an understanding. So how is it that we talk so much and have so many words for each other, but we fail to understand each other? Take me, for instance. I make videos all the time and I talk and people are always mad about that. But regardless, they never take issue with what I actually said. The issue is always with what they think I meant or what they think I was trying to say or how they interpreted what I actually said. This is majorly a problem because a society where people can't even communicate how they feel to one another is a society that is doomed from the start. But what the craziest thing is, the wildest opinions that are detrimental to our society are the ones that are the most accepted. And the opinions that the majority of people hold, they keep to themselves because they feel like if they speak it out, they're going to be reprimanded in some way. How do we get to the point where the thoughts and beliefs of the average person is deemed bigoted or not good enough to be said out loud, not acceptable enough to be said out loud? How do we get to the point where we can't even communicate amicably with someone who has an opinion that differs from our own? That's a very dangerous place to be in if you think about it. Like, that's incredibly dangerous. I'm just wondering if we can get back to actually having conversations as a society. That's all. Do you know it's one of the...
I got a thought on that because I think we've talked about it here. The difference between actually like hearing and listening. You can use all these, and there's the opposite is true. You have to talk to be understood and not talk to hear yourself. So you can use a lot of these big words, and a lot of people get caught up in just because they have vocabulary, like using it, but it makes you not understandable. It doesn't like help you connect. That doesn't help you communicate. It sounds good, but it doesn't help you connect.
Yeah.
So that's true for talkers. The people who are actually talking, they're just using the words. They're not trying to connect. And the same is true for the listeners. They're not listening. They're hearing the words, but they're not actually listening to actually like understanding. They're hearing and waiting to hear something that triggers them, waiting to hear something that offends them, instead of actually listening for the message. You're gonna take one person could talk for 5 minutes. You're gonna take 10 seconds out of that you didn't like and ignore the whole rest of the message. And like I say, it goes back and forth, but it's an understanding of perspective and understanding people. And understanding the real point of communication and talking is not to sound good. It's not just to have the know the most words or to, win the argument. It's to be understood. It's to make your points, and it's to go back and forth and have an actual dialogue with people. And that's, I think, what gets lost. And I don't think that's what people.
That's why I hate Cornell West.
Cornell.
Yeah.
But that's why people don't necessarily. But I think that's the disconnect that we're having. Is there's no dialogue. It's just people talking to be heard and people listening to be offended. And I think that's the issue with our society, and it's exacerbated with podcasts, social media. It makes it worse.
I think also it's people also. The thing is that we all need to humanize ourselves in this time that we live in now. We all have to humanize ourselves. The highlight reel of the idea of like projecting the perfection that's in the mind, the idea of projecting that, to me, I think is counterproductive. Because at the end of the day, like I think, y'all know how I am. So like I lead with vulnerability, because that's what makes people relate to me, and that's what like makes me for me to get through to people and for me to connect with a person. I noticed that me letting my guard down influences other people to let their guard down, to actually build a real productive conversation. Because outside of that, like if you think about it, dudes, if you ain't talking about like how we talk, and it's because we've gotten to a point of being vulnerable with one another to where it's like it's no reason for you to hide that scar. You know what I mean? But like what we'll do is we'll sit and talk about a bunch of BS. Oh, he put 50 on bro, or they had 7 touchdowns. We talk about a lot of flying balls, and it's like the weather to us. Right, okay. Right now, I'm being serious. It's like the weather. You know what I mean? Oh, it's nice outside. That's what the conversation is, that when there's not a level of vulnerability, the only thing you talk about is BS. Nothing that ever means anything about anything. It's just like, oh yeah, he did. Remember, you seen that? I mean, it's not anything that holds any importance, that pushes anything other than the same that the weather does. Like, oh, it's gonna rain tomorrow. It's nice outside. It's just useless conversation, in my opinion. Well, it's not useless, it's entertainment, but when you overdo entertainment and that's like the bulk of what's being done, then I think that's like a purposeless relationship.
Gotcha. Well, I guess you wrapped up the rebuttal that I was going to kind of have, because I also don't only want to let's just talk about serious shit and vulnerable shit all day. Sometimes I just want to talk about ignorant shit and fun shit and have a good time. But that's me and me as my person. I think that what the meme spoke to, I think a lot of times, and I see this often, is that people talk past each other a lot of times. Mm-hmm. A lot of times also people aren't making the same point. So like you can argue this way and I can argue this way.
And you'll be arguing all day.
Yeah, they never actually connect. Because of like the points aren't exactly the same, and you're only responding off of trigger words. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's another little piece. And then there's also the spot where in conversation people get caught in tangent and they forget to refocus the conversation. Mm-hmm. So it ends up just going off into like La La Land. And then you know what I mean. It ends up that ends up being where the conversation is, and you never actually get into the meat and potatoes of it.
No, that's a big one. That's a big one. Focusing the conversation.
Hey, Tone, we can hit the abort button. But I say, is it time for rock, paper, scissors for these questions? What are we doing?
Yeah, let's go.
Johnny is automatically going last.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, y'all got
your ass up out of here.
I knew he was gonna win just because I said that just now.
Up out of here.
Bum ass.
Yeah, I do this, man.
You don't do that.
I said that last week. I do this.
You just lost.
I said
about
that
an hour ago.
I just won about 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, you lost an hour ago.
Let's go. Let's
so
go.
We got your topic first, Johnny. Who going first?
Doing? Yeah.
Give us the order so we know.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. I'm putting you last.
So I'm going first. Oh, I thought you said 1.
Not 1.
But y'all be trying to last my joints. My joints be the firest ones, but don't worry about it. I ain't mad at you.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna start it out this week. And my question was, are we too soft as a society? And it stems from, I mean, I was looking at the mental, the mental health, and we've talked about that a lot. And like, I don't want to disparage anybody from, seeking to try to make their mental health as best as possible. Mm-hmm. But I also look at like, just listening to like my dad and my grandfathers and some of the stuff that they were able to deal with and how they were able to deal with it. And it was through mental fortitude and toughness. And I don't think that gets enough light, or we don't shine enough importance on how much that is necessary in today's world. It's not all, you're not always going to have good mental health days. You're going to have bad mental health days.
Right.
but you're gonna have days where you feel like, different thoughts come into your head, and the only thing that matters, the only thing that gets you through. Some people that call it toughness, I say mental fortitude, but you got to have some kind of fight in you to keep pushing. And I think as society, we used the word coddle earlier. Society has coddled people to the point, and luxury does that. We're privileged people. We live in America. There's places where we might not have that luxury, but with that luxury, there's also a responsibility to also find your toughness. Because it ain't always gonna be, it's not always gonna be pretty days. It ain't always gonna be sunshiny. It's gonna be rainy days, and you're gonna have to learn how to deal with that also. And what gets it done on those bad days when you having a tough time is mental fortitude. And I think we don't focus on that enough. And I just that was my thing. And my question was, are we too soft? Has the internet made us lose some of our toughness? And how do we get it back? If so, how do we get it back? I think we kind of touched on it a little earlier. We talked about the religion thing. Kind of got me to where I think some of the answers are earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we definitely have gotten too soft, and I think that also I think that the toughness thing is going to come back. Like as they continue, as they start to, as AI begins to take over, you know what I mean. We're going to see that that we need more people that are willing to do. The job's not necessarily as hard, but the skilled labor job.
It's work.
It's work. We're gonna need more people. And it's gonna come full circle. But as far as the mental health thing, I definitely think that like you said, we all have tough days. We all have tough days. We all lose somebody. You know what I mean? We all have to cry about a thing, and because I think that and also I think another thing is that we try to hide ourselves from everyone. So in that makes it even harder when you do have a hard day. If you having a tough day and you having a tough day in front of everybody because you got to so-called have everything together.
Now you got to fake it.
Now you got to fake it, which makes it even harder. So then you go home and you take it home. You've been faking all day. You know what I mean? Now you come home and you faking in front of your kids. You faking in front of your old lady. You know what I mean? So it's just still on your back and it's just burying you. You know what I mean? So I think that at the end of the day, it's a balance. I believe that we are too soft, but we don't need to go to any extreme. You know what I mean? To OD on being tough, because then that can be to the detriment as well.
Yeah, I do agree with extremes, but I think we definitely need to lean more into toughness in today's society. Because
I would agree.
What do you define as toughness?
Just like mental, just dealing with your thing and pushing through, and not having to, not always having to deal with like grace, but having accountability for the things that you go through and dealing with those things with accountability, not necessarily needing the grace from everybody when you go through things. It's good to have it. I mean, you need it and it will be there, but the accountability needs to be there also to get up. And I know this day is bad, but I got to be accountable to myself to push through. And I think that's something that gets lost.
I actually think it's more an issue of gratitude. Like more so, we more so complain about things more than we are grateful for it. We focus on what's not good.
That's
where the real issue is coming in.
That's a part of it. I totally agree. Yeah, I think gratitude helps. Being grateful changes your mindset.
Because when you're just thinking about everything going bad and you complaining about everything all the time, then it's like, the world does seem like it's that way.
Yeah. I guess if I was to go answer your question, do I think that is the society too soft? Is that pretty much the answer? Probably. I think that's what I lean to naturally. But if I was to give the counterbalance, I do think that most of my critiquing of even some of the shit that I do, even how I father and shit, is the adherence to older stereotypes. And then realizing where I pull back some. Like we're at a space where we understand that a lot of that toughness shit is like some ingrained bullshit that leads to suicide.
I don't let me wear this do-rag this whole time, dog.
I thought you was a wild do-rag boy. But,
that's crazy. I'm sitting over here with a rag on. My bad, bro. Go ahead. I just touched my head and realized that. Go ahead. My bad.
That was he cut you off.
I apologize, bro. That just threw me off. Wow, do rag, bro.
Yeah, that man was
That's my
being
bad.
vulnerable.
Being vulnerable, I apologize.
Bro was over here shedding tears, bro.
It was one over on the side, but no, I mean, like I've lost my train of thought. But that
you were
my
saying
point
about
was
like the lessons that you learn as far as
as far as parenting
and like saying that toughness is a bunch of bullshit and it leads to suicide. And I don't.
Well, no, I think that men have a like X amount rate higher version of suicide, of suicide than women do.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And a lot of it comes down to a lot of the pressure of these like classic sayings. Real says it sometimes in here, where it's like drink water, drive on, like straighten up your back, like just deal with the bullshit. In which the reality is that at the same time we are humans. We do have to deal with shit, or it festers and it turns into cancer. It turns into projection on your loved ones that can fuck around and be your kids or your old lady. Like these are real things that actually happens when you just bottle the shit in and take it and just drive on.
I got a question, and I don't know if you know this, but it's about the stats. So has I ain't gonna say the S word, has the rate of that increased, or is it remained steady over the last, like, say, 3 decades?
The unalived rate?
Yeah, like is that something that's gotten higher with modern times, or is that something that stayed the same?
I don't know. We're gonna put tone on that. He's gonna figure it out for us.
Because I think that would be interesting. Because I would say, like, I get what you're saying in that toughness.
I believe it's gotten worse as you think about like the idea of perfection. I think that we've embraced an idea of perfection that didn't wasn't.
It's not that, but I think
But Tone, put suicide rates over decades. That probably is.
But I guess, like, is that happening because we don't have toughness? And that's my question. Is because we don't have the mental fortitude to keep pushing, to where it's a give up mindset. And because I don't want to be insensitive, because I've known people that have dealt with, and these are questions that I've asked, even amongst close ones, that people I've had about, like, why did you just, like, what makes you just give up?
I mean, mental health is real, so we don't want to, and that's the thing. We're not trying to say that mental health is.
I'm not trying to disagree.
But shout out to our next guest. We actually will get into a conversation next week dealing with a mental health specialist about mental health. But yeah, continue.
But I guess my question is, what makes people give up? Is it the lack of toughness, or is it the fact that we haven't been soft enough?
Or maybe you're dealing with like real shit. It's not like people haven't been unaliving themselves for decades and shit like that. Like people, whether it's the tough era or the untough era, they've been doing that thing. The thing has been a thing. I think that in general, to me, like that's why I say, like, how do we define toughness? Because it's such a like really subjective, like mystery word, in which we tend to over exacerbate like a lot of like the toxic shit of masculinity.
I think it's more like perseverance. Toughness is perseverance, because the thing is the
all right. So we're just talking about like dealing through really hard times.
Yeah, just dealing with the thing as the thing happens, as life is life, and you know what I mean.
And that's where I say I can agree with that, but most of the classic tropes of what toughness is, and then I'm a backtrack because I don't even know if I specifically agree with that. If it doesn't mean go get help if you are inside a space that's really tough, because at the end of the day, like that's what resources are there for. And if the idea is that I'm only going to deal with this in my head once it becomes overbearing, then that probably leads to that next word that we keep, trying not to say, where like it's a give and take to it. And again, like I actually like I'm on y'all side for sure, but I definitely see the other side of the coin.
I mean, I see it too. That's why
me as a father, that's something that I make sure that I'm overly conscious of, especially with like there's a saying that says ignorance is bliss, knowledge is the burden. Right?
Knowledge is the burden.
Is a burden. Where there's a bit of like we are in the information age, and even our kids understand it. They have so much information right in front of them.
They got all the information.
All the information
Information
right in
isn't
front
a
of
thing like
shit,
data.
Shit be a little bit easier when you ignorant to shit.
No facts.
Like I'm just a little sad. That's so much easier than when like a kid can Google and then all these other things start like trickling in. And I think that information piece makes it to where like as parents, we all have to be way better parents than any generation before us.
Oh, facts. Because you got to deal with that information. Like our generation, even like my parents, like I remember like information was a barrier. Like I remember like we'd have to go to the library. My parents, I used to ask them so many questions. They would just buy books just based on the questions I would ask. So like nowadays, kids don't have to, like, you can Google all those questions I had.
That's crazy, Johnny. Also, I literally had like, it probably was like maybe like 40 books at my house because I was a Y kid also.
I used to tear my parents up with that question.
Like, growing up, we had the Y books, and it was like a series of books that so Y does, and then it just was every single thing
My parents
you could think of. And I used to just sit and read them and shit.
My parents had a book. It was called 1,000 Whys. Like I literally asked them that. They was like, I guess they found it and they bought me a series.
My daughter's at that stage right now. My daughter's definitely at that stage now. But why?
Yeah.
But why?
I used
definitely
to tear them up. But now the Whys are like they're Google away. Like there's no like.
Or have we all been at WebMD? In which that Google will fuck you around and you think some shit that's not even what you really feeling.
Truth.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And that's I think that I kind of hit on that a couple weeks ago with depression, where too many niggas be saying they got depression, they just be sad.
Yeah.
And depression is a real thing also.
Well, if we're all depressed, nobody's depressed. Like,
but it's actual real niggas depressed.
But
and that's why I don't fuck with that statement either.
No, but I'm saying, but if everybody's claiming depression when they're sad, then that means real depression doesn't get the focus and emphasis that it deserves because it's too many people that are just sad.
I like the idea of like if everybody depressed, a bunch of niggas is lying.
No, that might be a better. I like the way I said it. If everybody's depressed,
I like that one.
Nobody's depressed.
Yeah, I like that one.
There's some depressed niggas out there, bro.
No, it is definitely some depressed
people.
people.
I don't want to like discount that shit.
But we all know, I get it. I'm gonna stop. I ain't going down that hill.
He's taping up a box. And
I go down that
taping
hill.
up the box. But yeah,
we got a comment. Miss Amy said there's a large percentage of suicide tied to LGBTQ issues, which links right back to religion.
I don't know if it's like specifically religion.
I don't know either, and I don't really want to like. I would go to that topic.
That's thin ice, boy. That's thin ice.
It's thin ice.
That's thin ice, boy, right there. My bad.
You try to Miss Amy trying to get us kicked off.
You know, we can only get in that conversation when you said no, man. You got to start it. I probably would start a LGBT conversation. I know y'all scary sometimes.
I'm just it's not my place. It's not my place. Depending on what we're talking about, it's not my place.
I could live anywhere. I got a bunch of places and opinions.
I mean, I got a bunch of opinions, but that ain't my place to really. That's why we have Vogue. It's Vogue's place to be able to speak on what's going on.
Oh, you don't got no opinion about it.
No, I got an opinion.
Just saying you ain't comfortable saying it.
What it is that what reason would they care about my opinion? I don't have. You know what I mean? As long as I have a home where I can have what I wish to have in my home and go on in my home as a leader in the home, and they don't influence my family. So what's the point of me talking about?
Oh no! Again, if you don't like have perspective on it in general, then I think that's a good thing. In which that's what you're saying. So that's good.
Yeah.
We do got another comment. He said, as a teenager, I would ask one of my parents, could I do something? For the people. I did. Y'all be seeing it late.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I would ask one of my parents, could I do something? And the answer is always, what did the other one say? And their answer was the same. To me, it was pure genius.
I think that other question's for real.
What?
Both of y'all.
What question?
Another comment.
Oh, Miss Amy said, how will you treat your son if he came out to you as being gay?
Oh, look.
Do you feel your home is a safe space?
Okay. This is good conversation space.
Oh, we want to dive. We're gonna dive on this one. I don't mind.
Okay.
I actually had this conversation recently. 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. All right,
so if do I say it one more time? Do I feel that my home is a safe space for my son to come out?
How would you treat your son if he came out to you as being gay? Do you feel that your home is a safe space?
How would I treat my son if he came out as being gay? And do I feel my home is a safe space? So I would say that like my son is too young for me to give an honest answer. What I will say is that I'm going to love him regardless. That love doesn't stop because of a sexual preference. Because that's all that is to me. All it is to me is a sexual preference. It's not like I go around and have sex in front of my kids with my old lady.
You wouldn't care if your son like big joints.
Say again?
If you like big girls.
Hey, your preference
like
is your preference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the thing is that, and that's what in my opinion, that's where that whole thing goes to me. It's just a sexual preference. Like as far as I go, like you start talking about T's and different letters in that thing. I'm not going there, but for if my son decided that he felt that he was liking the same sex, that's just a sexual preference, and that's not as important to me as his character, as who he is. You know what I mean? I'm still going to do what I need to do to raise him up to be a man that I feel like a respectable man. You know what I mean?
So you're saying you're not raising people based on their sexual preference. You're raising people.
Yeah, your sexual preference is aside from my teachings.
You're right.
I'm not teaching you your sexual preference. You know what I mean? I'm teaching you how to be a man. That's what I'm teaching. I'm not teaching you what you should like to have sex.
So how would you act if your son came home and was like, I don't want to be Brandon no more. I'm Brandy. I'm not saying your real son's name. So
yeah. So honestly, I don't know how I would react to it. It would definitely be a burden for me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be happy about it. But at the end of the day, I would have to figure out and talk to like my guys. I would have to talk with, you know what I mean? Some people that's lived this thing. I would have to, because I need to have the conversations to be able to understand much better, because I don't understand that.
You can't go for that. If he comes, depending on the age, I think that the age of that
age
matters
does make a difference
directly when we're talking about that conversation. If you
said you can't go for what exactly?
If your son came home and was like, I don't want to be Brandon no more. I want to be Brandy.
Like I wouldn't go for like.
I got questions. I just have questions.
But I also think like at a certain age,
I still named you Brandon though. But so that's gonna be the tough part.
What age?
It's a conversation.
What age are we talking about right now? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, Miss Amy just put a comment here, so let's just.
Let's not pivot yet.
Read
that in a second.
She has an example.
Age 12.
Okay. All right. 12. All right. So is age 12? All right. Let's go age 12.
They're still too young. Like I think they're still too young to have a conversation.
But that's what's being sold, and it's
to have a conversation about sexual preference at 12. That is crazy.
Okay, cool.
So the thing about that is,
you gonna tell them shut the fuck up, go in the room?
No.
So what you gonna say? Because I'm trying to understand it.
And understand there are laws. There are laws being put in place to where you can't say, like, you can't even speak it. Or if your child wants to go and do this on their own, they can do it. These laws have been put in place.
Let's build up to that, but let's start there.
What, at 12 if he had that? Or I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ask you why. It like I'm a why guy. Like why are you feeling this? What made you say, what specific thing triggered this thought? And then we can go and address it from that point and figure out why this thing made you feel that way. But when we're talking about sexual preference and your gender and stuff, you're a minor, and as long as you're a minor, I don't think we should have that. Like, I think that's where we get lost in a lot of these conversations, is we're talking about kids and like.
Yeah, 12-year-old shouldn't have a sexual preference.
Exactly.
For sure, but
exactly.
I think like don't go in pretend land, because if we're saying this is a kid coming up to you saying that, they are having a sexual preference, and we do have to have that conversation, and we got to figure it out,
because we all know we was being fast at 12. Like,
yeah,
let's just be honest here.
Like I don't want to push it and pretend like as adults we shouldn't have like just random conversations about like what kids are doing at that age, and if we think they're like, no, we shouldn't do that. But if my kid comes to me, I for sure think that it is important to like sit there and have the conversation.
But you wouldn't agree with him. You like, if you thought he was saying something,
to me,
you would try to correct said behavior,
that,
or you wouldn't just go along with everything your kid said.
Let me get into it. I think that it's not about agreeing or disagreeing. I think that like hearing them out and having a full form conversation is, for me, that's what I think is probably the best thing. That's where like say the quote unquote safe space would be at. And I think that this also is a space where, as parents, I think that there's a space where it's good to live vicariously and it's bad to live vicariously through your kids. And sometimes you got to tap out of like living vicariously through your kid and having them be exactly what you want them to be. Like, you have to decide at a point sometimes, do you want your kid to hate you, or do you want to live vicariously through them?
Yeah, what I was gonna say is that, like, and then I mean, even with her scenario, it's not like I don't believe that it's like a all of a sudden thing. Your 12-year-old comes and says,
Okay, you probably see
there's some things that have come. This is years of this thing already. You probably already knew the thing, but he just ain't said it yet. You know what I mean?
So
You just in denial. You don't want that to be the case. But at the end of the day, I think that, and I could be wrong. Like I'm not going into like people being born away or not being able to be born away. What I'm thinking on where I was kind of thinking is like the level of intentionality, especially with boys. For me, like and I think that it's like my well, I would say like my wife. She has my daughter like washing dishes now at 3 years old. You know what I mean? She's like putting the groceries away and doing all these things. And so with my son, there's a level of intention that I have to like get him to push him in a certain way as he almost like emulating the things that he sees me do. So like the hands-on things, like doing, I want you to get you a little set where you know what a flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, you know what the screws look like. And you know what I mean? I think that there's a level of intentionality that we have to have with kids, because if not, we're leaving it up for them to be able to try to decide some things that they're not ready to decide. You know what I mean? Asking themselves questions that aren't necessarily to be asked. Where we idle mind, they always say the idle mind is what is it? An idle mind is
Devil's playground.
Devil's playground. So like I think that we have to be more intentional and hands-on with our children's upbringing.
Let's get to the comments.
Yeah, it seems like we got some comments in there. What we got, Tom?
Miss Amy said, I have a friend who came out at age 12. He remained a virgin until he got married at age 31. How is it a sexual preference? I just say most men need to educate themselves on sexuality, gender identification, and emotional connection. Being gay just isn't about sex. What do y'all think of that?
Well, I mean, I don't know it's about who you choose to be with.
Being gay isn't just about sex. I think I don't.
I mean,
you would have to break that down. To me, being gay is specifically about.
I think
like
the only
sex.
thing that makes
And
you gay
right,
is.
Yeah, I mean,
he started just yelling on me. What I was gonna say is that I think that like inside like the LGBTQ community, what I've heard also, because we've had Bo on here who was a masculine presenting homosexual gay person. And like it's not about like specifically feminine traits or masculine traits. It's about like what your literal sexual preferences.
Right.
And that's also where like a divide inside the community, from what I understand and have heard, comes with when you add the T in there, because of like it tends to play on what their sexual preferences are in comparison to like a physical
What goes as preference to identity.
And identity
it
preference.
changes the conversation from preference to identity.
Yeah, that's my opinion. Go ahead, Johnny.
Well, no, I just felt like, I mean, to me, I think there's only one thing that makes you gay is
the preference.
Well, it's when you
like
actually
just doing the act.
When you act on
it's
it.
doing the act.
When you
Yeah.
act on
So
your
to say that it's not
being
about
masculine
sex.
or feminine, like I don't think that those traits have anything to do with like your sexual preference or being gay.
Right.
That's the toxic masculinity. I don't know, Rod, you had something for it, or you want to go?
Oh yeah, no, and I was gonna say also, I could understand where a person may believe that men need to dive into and read literature on. I'm not interested.
Literature on what?
On like what her comment was like.
She said
what was
sexuality and gender identity. Something.
we need to be educated on it. We need. She said. I just say most men need to educate themselves on sexuality, gender identification, and emotional connection. So my thing is that like, hopefully I don't end up having to go down that road of things. And should I, then I'll begin to kind of dive into said thing. I'm not just on my own, you know what I mean, just going to start diving. And just me being honest, I know I'm not going to do it. I'm not interested in the literature. I'm not interested in figuring out the thing. You know what I mean? I'm cool.
I'm interested in figuring out all
I'm
things.
not.
So I'm not. If it's engaging enough,
I'm not interested.
And it's something that can help me inside.
I mean, if it comes to my doorstep, then I'm going to have to figure out and educate myself on the thing. But I don't. Yeah,
I get that. I know that I like social commentary in general. I think that I like interacting with people within my community often. And I find myself inside leadership spaces often with like younger kids, in which I know for me that is probably important for me to understand all of these dynamics that happen, especially once you get into the range of high school kids and like dealing with high school boys and all of the emotions that come with that, with them hitting puberty, and it's high school girls as well. Like inside, whether you go sports, whether you go community relations, XYZ. To me, the community is bigger than just only what's within my house. So being equipped to have the tools to handle with like some level of education, all the things that I'm gonna present it, I think that I find interest in it.
Right. Well, I'm gonna keep checking in with you on that education. I think that it'll be helpful, and I'm gonna check in with you from time to time to make sure you're getting your literature.
Make sure you're reading his book.
Yeah, I would think. You know what I mean? I'm gonna buy you one too. I'll probably go ahead and go on Amazon and grab you one, and we'll. You know what I mean? I just keep up with your progress.
We're gonna put in Amazon. What gay niggas stink?
Yeah, see, now you're going all the way up. Now you're going all the way up. You try to get us canceled on that. Nah, I'm not.
That's what
But
gonna put in Amazon.
I'm just saying that
Tell me
I'm
what
pretty sure.
I'm gonna search
There's
Amazon.
I'm gonna make sure
That book gonna.
What gay niggas think?
No, I'll read the preface. I'm gonna read the preface and make sure that it sounds like matter of fact, Miss Amy, I think that you should. I'm not even gonna try since they got so many jokes. I think that you should go to get Quintel some literature so that he can get a breast.
That's fucking.
But I mean, and what you say, it sounds good. Like the idea, like I'm in the community. I believe that the community is not just in my house; it's outside of my house as well. And I need to be abreast to be able to speak with these young men. Because and also, like I said, your son is at an age where it's like he's in high school, so he is actually around different things, and he's, you know what I mean. He has different questions. So like my children are 3 and 1. I ain't got there yet. You know what I mean? I haven't even, and that's why it's levels to parenting. Like I'm not on the level you want. I'm still in. You know what I mean? I ain't seen a boss yet. I'm still. You know what I mean? Fighting the little dudes that you can just smack around. And we'll get to the boss level in probably about 5 or 6. That first boss comes.
Nah, I understand it. Yeah, I guess let's finish reading down.
You can be a child and have your own preferences on things, but you don't have to agree with everything that your child does. That doesn't mean you don't love them.
I can agree with that.
I agree too.
I think that just having, to me, like I said, having a full conversations with your kid and not shutting them down, because it sounded like that was a piece of what we were saying at first.
I didn't say nothing about shutting nobody down.
Nobody blames you, Johnny.
That's how you
That's
know.
That hit dog holler. That hit dog holler every time.
Yeah, let's finish up this conversation. It is not too early to listen and respect the choices of the child and have that conversation with them, he or she, to get a better understanding.
Okay.
If God created man in his own image, why didn't he create a person that have a preference to be gay?
Say it one more time.
She said, if God created man in his own image, why didn't he create a person?
We ain't got to
that has
answer
a
that
preference
one
to
right
be
now.
Hey, that's a question.
a hell of
for,
created man.
like somebody that we have that's LGBT on the.
That's a hell of a question.
No.
Oh, I thought you was gonna speak up.
No.
Tell us what you read in that Amazon book you ordered.
No, I'm ordering it for you. This is future tense. I haven't gotten there yet. Matter of fact, Miss Amy, I'm telling you, I'll give you his address. Deliver these.
Yo, how do we even get to this conversation? What
Miss
was
Amy,
the original question?
Miss Amy threw us down this road.
What was our original question?
Yeah,
I think the original question Johnny asked was we soft. That's the only question we had was are we soft as a society?
Are we soft?
We went through mental health, and then she asked something about the LGBT. Or she put a comment about LGBT.
That's how I know it's a good question.
It was trash.
We'll get to yours.
You always make me laugh, bro. Mine's the best one. But go ahead. Where we go?
I don't know. Do we have any closing thoughts on that? If not, we can kind of get into our segue. Bro, you can hit off next. I'll toss it to you first.
Don't let that man go second out of pity, man.
Oh no. We gotta go. He won. So I'm with the fair and square. He get to choose the juice. So I'm going last. But
okay. You see how you can try and give niggas.
Because whenever I pick, it's standing.
He gonna make me last. So I can't let this nigga win no
this
more.
man make me last every time.
I didn't make you last week because I won last week and let you go second. So you can't say that.
Okay. All right. Well, real. We'll give it to you and let you go.
Okay. Let me see. Let me make sure I got my question right. I want to make sure I articulate it in the correct. Oh, I know.
This is why I made this nigga go last.
Oh, that's what it is. No, but man, nah, for real. Nah, this is what it was. No, hold on. Let me make sure. I want to make sure. The question is, how important is it that a person knows their actual worth? And I mean, highlight in bold actual
worth.
Actual worth.
Important is it
in the marketplace? And I'm talking about in dating. You know what I mean? In the dating market, how important do you think it is for you to know your actual worth versus your whatever you feel it is to make it up yourself? Because that's going to be two different things. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, I think it's very important that you know your actual worth, but I also believe that like it's okay to like inflate your worth in your head. Like I feel like that if that's like your coping mechanism, it's okay to cope.
Let's start here. Are we in agreement that there is an actual worth and then there's a perceived, just your internal, you think a thing is?
Yes. I mean, yes. Sometimes they line up more closely than others. Some people are more realistic than other people. So sometimes it's not as big of a gap between what people think they're worth and what they're actually worth than you may think. Now, in other cases, there are huge gaps where a person thinks they're worth this and they're actually worth this. But I don't think that's the majority.
I think that is.
I don't think that's. I think most people are pretty aware of where their actual
what
worth.
Do you think? Because I think that I want to get. Let's make sure we get everyone's opinion.
This is actually something I was thinking about this week. Like this is actually a topic I was thinking on this week.
Wait.
So like part of what I was thinking about, I pretty much got into this argument with my sister, and she so-called set me straight on some stuff. So I had to question it because it was like, to me, it felt like she was coming from a place of like animosity, trying to just throw something to me.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was one of them things like, am I actually like that? Is she telling me this out of love, or is she just really throwing stuff out there? And I had to sit there and question it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think though, like people will throw stuff out about you that's not valid, and you have to keep that in it. Like you can't allow that to become your reality necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So I think it's important what you think about yourself, even if it is a false perception at
Even
the time.
If
it's going to push you towards what you're really trying to do, I don't think nothing's wrong with it.
So my question is, but my question though is that, do you think that something that you make up actually pushes you to what you're trying to do, or does it actually hinder your real progress?
Okay,
when you're thinking a thing that's not real.
I think you do have to.
It depends on the person.
So the question is, do you how important do you think it is for a person to know their actual worth? And well, right now where we are is that, do you think in general people's actual worth is different from what they're perceived for themselves? Do you think that there's a difference between those?
Oh, well, that's always going to be, because like your view of yourself, whether higher or greater, is always going to be different than what actuality is. But if we're talking about dating, what's the gun that like when you shoot it? I think it's a shotgun. When you shoot it, then it just go everywhere.
That's
you're talking about
that's that bird
shot.
Yeah,
whatever version of a shotgun in that bullet, that's what niggas should do. Shoot them all. I done seen niggas get hit high. They ain't supposed to hit that. And it be some niggas that be like, you could do better than that.
At the same time,
and I see that with females too. In which, listen, have a base of understanding who you are, but shoot everywhere.
So.
Yeah, because even who you think you are, like
now I got another.
You can lower the perception on yourself sometimes. That's what I think.
Some these women, they like what is it? Medium ugly niggas and shit like that. I don't know. Shoot, you might fuck around and land you one of them. Be all right.
A baddie, get you a baddie.
You know what made me think of this? And I think that it could
not
be
even a baddie. I just say a high quality woman. Baddies, they come with a different type of like issue, but a high quality woman. Woman that got like some really good shit to it.
Yeah, I just
she attractive. You probably
I just feel like there's a knowing where you are is, because the thing is that, and you know what got me here was the idea of like the body count conversation that we was gonna have last week that I opted out of having, and I was like, dang. So like at the end of the day, I came down. So I was like, dang. Okay, so could body count really matter when we sit here and we honest? Niggas ain't really been shit. growing up, you pretty much going to paint yourself to be the guy that the woman that you're trying to get wants. Whether it be the way you dress, and then you add that to what you're saying, what you know what I mean, where you take her, if she, you know what I mean, the Cheesecake Factory, Jew, like all of that leads up to whatever you're trying to get. And so once you obtain said thing, oftentimes, and I'm pretty sure a lot of women that went through this, dudes switch up. And so I feel like you can shoot. So and then okay, the idea of this, like a dude shooting too high with a woman, then you print up, you could literally end up just spending money. You see what I'm saying? It's like the difference.
Well, that's your fault.
Well, I mean, you can say like, yeah, so just shoot. Oh, you shoot too high, and you end up spending money. And I think on the other side is that a woman shoot. But hold on, let me just finish real quick.
Okay.
And then on the female side, you can shoot too high and just and have another chink in your armor. You know what I mean?
Chink in your armor.
Yeah, pretty much. You just add like a body that you didn't intend to have to add.
Oh, okay.
So and that's another reason why I was like, damn, at the end of the day, I talked myself out of the idea of like body count mattering simply based on this, because as men, we know throughout our lives, before you got in the position you're in, you was tricking motherfuckers into thinking that you was in the position you was in.
Well, see, I ain't agree.
I ain't never did that.
I ain't agree with that earlier because I don't want a woman that got tricked out. Got tricked out 100 bodies. I'd much rather have a person that didn't. To me, yeah, getting tricked out 100 bodies means you got bad judgment of character. Like you, like if you just went out there and did it,
if you gotta choose one, then I guess I would choose the one you choose. But if that's my only options, but if I have any option that goes down to less dicks, I'm choosing that one. 100.
That was a number, bro.
I'm just being honest. I'm gonna go 30 down if I have a choice, bro.
If you got tricked out of 30 bodies, that's still a problem.
That's a lot of Jones, bro.
Hey, listen, all I say is listen, all the ugly niggas that's out here, niggas that's
Why you look at Johnny when you said that?
I didn't look at Johnny.
No, you looked directly at Johnny.
You.
He looked directly at Johnny after
didn't,
he said that.
It sounded like he's trying to throw some shade at me.
Yeah.
I just pulled that out, man.
I'm personally not judging anybody on the panel, but shout out.
Yeah, you think I'm ugly, bro?
All of my.
I thought he did. He looked right at you when he said it, bro. That's why I said
it. Sounded like he doing what Deion. Cam Newton was doing to Deion.
Hey, luckily,
he's just doubling back on it. I'm trying to move the conversation forward. He doubled back.
He was talking to me about it. All right, fuck it, bro.
Okay.
Go ahead. Continue, Q.
Johnny,
continue.
You want to take it?
I don't care what niggas think.
I think that's colorism.
I don't care what niggas think.
It's colorism.
All right,
I see it.
Go ahead, Q.
He think just because you, never mind.
I like being the darkest motherfucker in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
look at him. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing wrong with dark skin, bro. Nothing wrong.
I love walking in the room and being
so
like.
What's wrong with him? What made you say that?
He's short, bro. That was a joke, bro.
Hey, that shit only.
Nah,
fuck your dad. I don't need you. Fuck your dad. I don't need you. I'm gonna say this. For all my short niggas. That shit only matter. That shit don't matter when you laying down. That shit only matter when you standing up.
But what I've heard, this is just what I heard. When a short nigga lay a woman down, she's still 2 feet because y'all like BBW.
Hey, why you had to come for the big one? We love everybody.
But nah, y'all was somewhere.
You was somewhere.
I don't know. I was about to make a joke, but it's more jokes that's been had already. So
I mean, never mind.
But yeah, again, I guess if we're just making the assessment, I don't know how important it is unless you're getting tricked. That's on the female. It sounds like you painted the picture of like with female. It does become a notch on the body count. If you are searching for a man, and the prerequisite for him to get it is like just trying to get him to do this out your league, you gonna fuck him. It sounds like you kind of smut it out, and you probably got character issues.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's smutted out though, because like you could literally have the aspirations to have such a thing until you in your mind understand it. Like, no, that is like that is not something that I can. That's
the definition of smutted out. Like when you realize I can't get the baller and you done fucked all of them. That's.
And you keep doing it, and you doing it at like a really small frame of time.
That's the definition,
bro. I wrote out a whole
thesis for this. I ain't gonna lie. Also, I've seen some. Like to me, I don't think that they that attractive. But they done got some niggas. I'll be like, oh, all right.
Oh, he a hornet?
You did that, I guess. Well, like you keep going to like this crazy athlete thing. I don't know no women that are with athletes. But if I'm speaking about guys that's doing well, like a guy of value within the community, that's what I'm speaking about. Like all the time, they wives don't be the baddest. You be like, sometimes if you know that girl, you be like, oh damn, you got that one?
Well, that's because
that's all right for you.
I think personality
And
matters
I think
most.
that, you know what I mean? I think sometimes they be winning.
And that's the thing. So like for me, it's not even. It's not to me. It's not like a shot at anybody to know where you stand. Because like at the end of the day, what you do is like that's like if you see like the chunky unattractive dude. What he'll do is he understands. Okay, this is where I sit on the attraction side of things. So there's some things that I need to do better on this side, so that I can still, if my aspiration is to have this,
but I don't think in his head.
But because there's some females that like the quote unquote.
But yeah, that dude doesn't think he's ugly.
And it'd be like
he doesn't be like, well, I'm this. Nobody goes around thinking like that.
I'm pretty sure, and this is going back to the famous, but I'm pretty sure Biggie called himself ugly a million times. So like they know where they stand.
Niggas that I know that's done all right.
And they think they like that.
It's not like they balled out the gym. Sometimes people just be having preferences.
But what I'm saying is that I agree.
Women that got,
I know some big boys that got some
dick preferences, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Or ugly nigga preferences. I've seen it.
Yeah,
they be like they want an ugly nigga. They don't want nobody.
I've never seen that. I've seen
the
woman.
Pretty females and be like, why are you with him?
No. But and then if you hear the story, then you can understand it. It's not like, oh, I just like ugly niggas.
But bro don't think he's an ugly nigga. Like he's like nobody going, I'm an ugly nigga. I'm like nobody thinks like that.
I think most dudes do know if they're ugly. It's just for us, it don't matter.
Tone knows.
Most dudes know that, like, if you ugly, you ugly. It's just it don't matter. Like Jeremy, he know he ugly. Like, bro, he'll never forget when he look in that mirror. He be like, hey.
I'm be honest. I don't know many niggas that just be like, I'm ugly.
Yeah, I don't think you. I don't think that is.
Hey, well, Rail say that. He say that shit when he get.
I'm saying even no, but here's my thing. Even if you are ugly, it's probably not a productive mindset to have that I'm ugly.
Honestly, I think that it is because then you build your character based in something else. So if I sit and be like, yeah, I know I'm not the most attractive dude, but then I'm gonna build my character on such and such, and I'm gonna stand on this.
That's why Real got such a good personality.
Hey, you know what I mean? I've been, I realized what I look like,
ugly, bro.
I realized what I look like, and I figured I had to.
I thought it was the
be better at other shit. I had to be better at other stuff. You know what I mean? I think it's healthy.
We about have 3 comments.
Magic says the average person, male or female, probably deserves around a 7, but looking for dimes. People need to sit back, analyze themselves, look in the mirror, and realize reality is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, like I just said, it's some ugly people out here with some beautiful people. So hey,
well,
even if you're a 7, you want to aim for the 10.
But then see, the thing is, we always want to talk about minority population.
Bro, it's not minority. This is average. Like
on average, bro. On average, what you'll see these same
on
type
average,
of scenarios.
Everybody, most people.
I would say this. On average, I don't think there's a lot of
people are average. Like we're all like 6.
So what I'm saying,
we're all 6.
So you don't. What you're saying is that you don't know a good bit of, and you don't see a good bit of non-6s.
You talking about
on your average grocery store trip? Because you go to the grocery store, right? On your average grocery store trip,
the average person in the grocery store.
You shopping with the dimes? Where?
What are you talking
the
about?
Average.
I'm talking about seeing below 6. I'm talking about.
I'm saying the average grocery store is probably about 4.
Yeah. Okay. I think 4 to 6. 4 to 6. I don't even think
but
6.
I think that there's a big difference.
There be some 3s.
Bro, all I'm saying,
there be some 3s.
How many pretty couples you see though? Or how many beautiful couples you see? Most of the time, it's either the beautiful person is single or they're with somebody who is like not on their level. So
also, I don't know beautiful because I know beautiful women. Like I don't know about like
bro. Okay. See, you know what I'm talking about, bro. We being immature here. That's like.
Well, no, I'm just saying. I think I think it's weird, dudes talking about like how attractive they like.
Nah, my mama used to always say
that. Oh no, he look like he get bitches.
Because that don't matter. Like the.
Bro, the only thing makes you gay is what you just said a second. We just had this conversation.
I'm saying, but as far as dudes, it don't matter. Like it really don't matter. You can be ugly, but that you're not gonna feel ugly if you got all these other things going for you. But to have a I'm ugly mindset is not
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying the girl chose the like the pretty girl be choosing. They not basing it off of that, and then like yeah, I'm like
that's a crazy mindset though.
Yeah, I think,
and it's some of the dudes.
Yeah, like if people gotta walk around thinking they ugly. Like,
It's dudes who women would find. It's dudes who women would find.
think
Like
people
healthy,
just
bro.
walk around thinking they ugly.
I think it's healthy to sit like me. I'm like a 6. I'm okay with the 6 because that means I gotta go in and do some other stuff. I gotta make sure.
Mindset ain't saying I'm a 6. It's like saying I'm a 2.
Miss Amy said, "I'd
6 and
rather
a 2
have
is
someone
different.
who makes me laugh, is faithful and intelligent. Pretty dudes are more likely to cheat."
Hey, I'm not mad at that. That's just I would assume that like the 10,
I agree
9,
with what
10
you're saying,
women
but I'm disagreeing with the mindset. People not walking
So
around.
you
thinking
agree
they
with what I'm
ugly.
saying?
But people
What
not
part
walking.
you agree with?
No,
What
no.
part you disagree with?
The fact that like dudes probably like looks don't matter for men. Well, for women as much as they do for men. Men are gonna go for pretty women. Pretty women
I don't
don't
think that was any part of it.
But no,
that wasn't what I said.
But no, but what you were saying.
Johnny be making his own.
Well, no, but no. What you were saying was that ugly dudes pull better.
No. My only real point is I think that it's healthy for you to know where you actually stand.
Okay, well, you said that. Somebody said it. All I'm saying, somebody said it.
Don't put that on my boy. Real ain't say that.
I didn't say that.
All I know is somebody said it, but what it is like you look as a man. There's way more things that women are choosing partners on based on looks. Now, when it comes to men, we choose our partners almost not even gonna say 90, like 100%, but looks matter way more for us. So,
nah.
Bro, I can tell you now, like it used to be a thing where that was true, but nowadays women care more about the looks thing than they did before.
I would say
everybody is like it's like a salad. You putting lettuce, tomatoes, what's that other little junk? Romaine.
Mm-hmm.
Like you putting all that shit in it. All that shit means something to me. Yeah, I don't know, Tone. I guess we can give you the last word to kind of wrap this up.
Hey man, I already said what I had to say on it. I ain't really got too much more.
Let the ugly nigga finish it up.
Hey, your mom don't think so, but either way. Your mom never tells me I'm ugly. She
Thank you.
So to finish off, do y'all believe that men should walk around with the ugly nigga mindset and it's good for them?
No, I think motherfuckers should walk around and being confident in who they are and what they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if looks isn't like the thing that you bring, you ain't got to be confident in your looks, like walk around like that. But you confident in who you are as a person, and to just the word ugly and thinking I'm ugly, it's gonna affect your confidence, and that's one of the most important things. Is like having your confidence.
I think people just need to worry about their character.
All right, so hey Tone, could you click the one unread one? It says something about body count.
Oh, men need to stop worrying about our body count because just understand it's your turn now and move on.
What do you think about that, Johnny?
Yeah, no, yeah.
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know when the last time like a body count conversation in a real relationship ever even came up.
It's been college, bro.
Yeah, probably.
Like since like I ain't asked
you just
a
pick
woman,
up on character traits and be like, oh yeah.
I haven't asked a woman something like that literally since about college. Last time I remember.
That's around when it mattered.
Mm-hmm. And the reason to ask would be is she too promiscuous to be with me? Like, can I trust this woman?
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, it's like you're gonna find that out in other ways, whether you know if she's cheating or not. So
yeah.
Character speak louder than all of that.
Yeah, hey, so that's a good point to leave it at. We need to work on your character.
Some pretty cool ass strippers.
Personality matters most. That's the most like important thing when it comes to like finding partners and stuff, because looks are gonna fade over time. Like the person you marry 18 years from now, they probably not gonna look the same. They probably not gonna be
goddamn murder the game.
And so like if you marry somebody based on their personality, the personality is what's gonna make that shit last. The looks are gonna go up and down. Like I've seen people lose weight, gain it right back, and lose it again. So like looks can change.
How many Lizzos you had, Johnny?
I ain't never wifed up no Lizzo, bro.
I ain't say wife.
You can check my track record, bro. You can check my track record.
What's your body count on Lizzos?
You can check my track record, bro.
All right. I guess I hop in it. So
but I don't discriminate.
This would be my question.
Oh, we on your question now?
Yeah. Is it a prerequisite? Is it a prerequisite for Black conservatives to have white women?
That's your
That's
question.
your question.
Oh no! Oh my bad. That was from the other questions. That was the other questions. My bad.
Johnny, are you conservative, brother?
Oh shit.
Have you ever seen me with a white woman?
I just asked if he was conservative.
Have you ever seen me with a white woman?
Now Johnny usually maintains that he went to a PWI.
He does.
And he makes sure that we know that.
And if I'm being honest,
whether we seen him with it or not.
I'm waiting for Johnny. Bring one of the ladies to the game night so I know what your preferences is.
Okay, I'll pull up with something.
Okay. All right. So now,
see how his voice got high. That's how you.
Okay, I'll pull up with something.
All right, that's not my real question. Fellas, I'm gonna allow y'all to choose it. These are my two questions. Where we at and how y'all feeling right now? Now? I don't know if the Tito's is hitting or if it's the Henny that's hitting. It can go either way. We can go, you know what I mean, like light, or we can turn it up a little bit. My two questions is, what if there's no boogeyman? The real boogeyman is human nature. Or have you canceled anyone since cancel culture has been a thing?
My vote is the first one. I haven't canceled anyone, so I don't really have.
I like the second one because I can't remember the last time I canceled somebody, and I'm trying to think about like what has made me cancel. Like what would make me cancel?
I like the first question.
Yeah,
okay,
that's the boogeyman exists.
All right, does the boogeyman exist?
See, you got to hit the second part of that question.
Cancel culture question.
You got to hit the second part of that question though.
But yeah, it says so. What if there is no boogeyman, and the real boogeyman is human nature? I'll toss it into the air, and we'll see where we land.
Yeah, you start off with that, Rick.
Oh, I mean, I think that at some point we're getting. Well, I do believe that let's say the boogeyman in systems is a thing, but like as far as like, yeah, I think that the boogeyman it's more of us. It's more human nature. It's
what do you? How do you like?
When you say
sounds like you're saying both of them.
So what I'll ask is when you say the boogeyman, are we speaking of like the thing that's holding us back, or in is that the context you're speaking of? Yeah. So
are you talking individually or like as a community?
Like socially as a people. Whether that's Black people, whether that's like human beings in general, I think that human nature is human nature.
I think that both are true at the same time. Like I think that the boogeyman remains within systems, but the actual, to me, the most important one, or the one that well, I won't say the most important because systems run the people, but I think the I'm going to go with on as far as us, as far as we go, as far as the people, not the systems themselves. The boogeyman is human nature. I think that it's natural for us to feed the flesh. That's the natural thing, to do what feels good in all areas of what feels good. I think that that's the natural answer. The natural answer is to do what feels good. So you know what I mean? That's really just my answer. Like,
I definitely think it's humanity. I think the boogeyman pretty much represents a false idea to fear, basically. And it's just a blame in order to not take accountability.
So you don't believe that there's a boogeyman or that there's that there's a system or systems that affect provide negative effects to the people that are adhered to the system.
I do think there are systems and there's people who are purporting to be a boogeyman, but we also have a choice to play into that system, and that's what we choose every time. Like the idea of the fear is what we keep sitting there like choosing to participate in.
That's the answer to me, because when I heard the question, like, or is the boogeyman human nature? To me, that goes back to our original question: accountability versus empathy. And to say there's a boogeyman means you're looking for empathy. Means that it's not my fault. I'm not where I'm at. It's the boogeyman.
Or do you think so?
But no, let me finish. Let me finish. But
let him finish.
He's dead ass. You got it.
Let me finish. But to say that the boogeyman is human nature and it doesn't exist, that's taking full accountability. If you totally accept that accountability, then there's nothing that's going to stop you.
Hey, Johnny, do you believe that,
boogeyman or not. Like if you would take the accountability and say the boogeyman don't exist, and it's human and it's up to me, then whether there's a boogeyman or not, you're gonna get to your goal.
Hey Johnny, do you believe, or not Johnny? This is the panel. Panel, do y'all believe in? Let's start with like the Illuminati.
Why did you like smiling about that? Like
I didn't even smile.
No, but it seems like it's in there though.
Why you keep on putting?
It's a hidden.
Why you keep on putting shit on you to show? But
I don't know. I just asked the question and put my head.
Okay, so I'm willing to answer that question. I do believe there is an organization that is pushing to run stuff from the background, like across the world, around the world. There's an agenda that's being pushed by an organization, whether they're called the Illuminati or whatever. Hey, whatever you want to call it.
There's secret societies out there.
There's secret societies that are orchestrating literally the events of the world. I think what it comes down to is that we're so commercialized, I say commercialized because we've been just pretty much following advertisements for years. Like our lives are literally based off of TV advertisements and stuff like that. Society has been built upon those things, different things that was presented in TV shows throughout time. Like, hey, we want this idea to be prevalent now, so we're going to present this, and then eventually everybody adopts it and goes into it.
No, okay.
No, they keep building. I'll just ask you. So, Johnny, how do you feel about the Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes?
Cool. Well, to speak of secret societies,
don't jump over that first.
Well, no, but
you know exactly what I'm talking
that's
about.
That's a secret society.
Okay.
Like that's a secret society.
Okay.
And to speak of those secret societies, I don't think they. A lot of times, like us as black folks, this is a black podcast. We most are. We black over here. If you not, welcome to the party. But as black folks, a lot of time we think the existence of said secret society takes away our power as people. I think the system exists. I don't think it takes away our power. And I think the system exists and it sucks our power when we're not united and we're easily influenced. But if we became united, we could have our own system of secret society over here that rivals their shit. And that's even more powerful based on the resources that it's drawing from to rival and do anything. So I believe it's there, but I don't think the Illuminati specifically hates black people. Because if you look at society, they've been shitting on motherfuckers before America was even a country. They was over there taking advantage of European people too, and getting over on them. And it's the reason why a lot of those people hate said secret society.
I was about to say I would rather not have this conversation from just the perspective of black people, because this is actually a thing for.
Yeah, I didn't.
It was.
Never. Oh yeah, I know that. I was just.
But that's why I'm making it bigger than just black people, because yes, they don't like us, but we're just one. It's a list of motherfuckers they don't like. We just happen to be on the list, but we take it personal, like they only don't like us, and it's like, and we take it personal. Okay, where they have an agenda and they're going by their agenda, whether we fall victim to it or not, doesn't have nothing to do with their agenda. Yeah, like their intentions is to take care of them and take care of them, and whether they got a shit on us, European, Ukrainian folks, whoever they got a shit on to get what they gonna get it. So we could take it personal as black people in America, or we could just come together and copy the things that they're doing and work in unity. And play play the game the way they're playing it.
Gotcha.
Just as a united front
for
so black people.
So to continue building it before Rail gets again, it's still about to keep passing it off. I just want to keep building it with different words. The devil. I think that's another one also where it's a boogeyman, in which a lot of people like you hear often.
That's the original boogeyman.
Hear often. That's the devil doing X, Y, and Z, or that's because of it, or they can blame a lot of things. That's the devil's at work. I don't know. Again, same question. I'm just trying to build better and better context to it.
Let Rail go. Rail got something on his chest.
I feel like at the end of the day, Johnny pretty much said a whole bunch of things to say the same thing that I ended up saying. That both things can be true at the same time. Is that there is a system that could be working and orchestrating things. And then there's also the people themselves that have to hold themselves accountable to build the culture and the communities that they want. That's what you were saying. You came at it like it was a distance. We were on the same page, but the devil portion of it, honestly, for me, and this is just me myself, I don't believe in the devil. I believe in more. This is more of a human nature thing. I don't give because I think that really, if you believe in it, that's what gives it the power. As far as the devil goes, for me, I believe that people want to do what the flesh wants, and that is what they do. Especially people that have the means of doing the thing. You know what I mean? If I have the means to make it so that I win, if I can rig the game to win, then I'll rig the game to win. The loser might call it the devil, but it's really just me.
And they don't care who the loser is. They don't care who the loser is. They not them, the winner, the team, the system. They don't care who the loser, because you could put it over here and black people would be the loser, or you can take the same systems and put it in Europe in 1925, and it's a bunch of people over there that'll argue that there was an Illuminati and that the reason Germany lost World War II is because it said Illuminati and all of that, and so they got the same grief, the same. We're mad at the same people.
Oh, mad at the Boogeyman.
Exactly. So you started by saying that the Boogeyman didn't exist.
I don't agree to exist.
Bro, you just did all of that to say that the Boogeyman was real.
But no.
All right.
No.
I think Satan is real, but I think that exists more as a spirit. The same, like how they talk. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Antichrist and Christ and how that all works, but I think these are spiritual concepts. And I would say there's a satanic spirit that operates behind all of that. It's more so, it's not just about an entity, it's about the spirit and what is being purported through that. So what is being purported through what is so-called the Boogeyman, like how we're having this conversation, is
my bad. I was looking at that comment. That's crazy.
What is that?
I think that's
I think that's
jumping off the cliff. Some random shit.
He said, "Let's talk."
I'm gonna put that comment up in a minute.
Jumped off the cliff for no reason. Where was we at with that one?
Yeah, like I was saying, I think it's more of a spiritual thing. Like,
that was the last conversation.
Where I was saying Satan exists. I think it's a spiritual type deal where there's a spirit of satanic or Satanism that does exist, where it's like what you would call all the evils of the world, like the things that are going to take you out of your nature of how you should be operating in order to be successful. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense there.
Real Johnny?
No, I do think, like I said, it exists. I ain't gonna say it don't exist, but it's not the most important part into what we're doing as people. Like, we have to understand our power to build and work against said systems, and we don't have to, like the devil. He's not the most powerful motherfucker out there. We can fight against, and there are powers that we have.
But you do have belief in the devil.
Well, I have belief in this, like I said, the systems that are out there. I do, but I do acknowledge their existence.
They didn't answer the question I asked.
That's my answer. I acknowledge
I think
their existence.
I think there are two natures of being, and I think there are two natures of being. Just to sum it up like this, there are two natures of being. You have Christ and you have Antichrist. Pretty much.
Those are the two
I think those are two natures of being. Like, and I'm trying to.
I don't agree with that,
but what I'm saying is pretty much you have righteousness and you have unrighteousness.
Okay,
there's another word. You have righteousness and you have unrighteousness, and we all have a choice in what we're choosing to do.
Oh no, I think that we're just much more complex as beings to actually put us on one side or the other, because I believe that both, like they say that, what is it? That,
how many shades?
That love and hate can't dwell in the same vessel. And I don't know if that's in the Bible or not, but that's one of those things that another one of those things.
Well, it says like a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So if like hate existing within your vessel where there's supposed to be love makes you double-minded, so it makes you unstable in a lot of the other areas in your life.
Okay, is that the only way to be? Never mind. We ain't got it.
Well, what I'm saying is that the idea that let's see, what was the two words you used?
Stable-minded.
Righteousness.
No, righteousness and unrighteousness.
Unrighteousness.
So like I think that because of the flesh, we all have the duality of both within us. It's just that we'll exercise whichever way. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can overcome the flesh in certain.
It's a reward system. I think one side when you exercise it,
Johnny. So you don't like people interrupting you, obviously, within this like how you know what I mean? So let me get mine off.
I'm trying to build. My bad.
Okay, build after I've done built what I was building. You can build up afterwards. So yeah, the idea that like that's like the idea of like a person like right and wrong not being in the same person. Like, of course, you're gonna do some things right, but you also have that side of you that will lead you to those wrong, you know what I mean, the wrong things as well. So I don't believe that like there's just the good and the bad. You know what I mean? We're too multifaceted and we're too complex to actually put one on one side. Because actually, if you want to talk about the good and the bad, if you want to put it on sides, nobody's on this side. Everybody's on the other side. If a bad deed means that you're on the wrong side, then everybody's there. There's nobody on the other side.
Ding 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 ding. I actually agree with it. But in general, I don't believe in the.
I should let you finish.
In general, I don't believe in the boogeyman at all. Like I probably put more than all the accountability on us as people and human nature. I would also say that I think that when you do begin to believe in a lot of those systems, as we started calling them, because at a time there was a point where I believed in those systems, and I believe what you start to develop is the word called learned helplessness, in which it ends up affecting you, and you feel like you ain't got too much control over what you specifically, personally are doing and can do, and yeah, again, whether we go inside the religious sense of it, if we go inside the systematic sense of Illuminati, Bilderberg, if you want to go, like whichever way you want to kind of go. For me, I personally, I don't really believe in a boogeyman. I believe in like I am in control of what my outcome is. And the work that I put in is a direct result of it. Yeah.
And I actually think that's the antithesis to the boogeyman.
Well, that's the best way to be.
I think that's the way we should all be aiming to be. Like we should all be aiming to. It doesn't mean the boogeyman doesn't exist. It's just
that's my only thing.
My mindset is beyond this.
And then at the end of the day, if you anybody that's actually been productive, most people that you will see that have been productive, that's what the thing is. I know that it is creating the goal and checking the box. That's what it is. It's literally setting the long-term goal with the short-term goals that lead to the long-term goal. And you can get there if you check one box into the second box. You know what I mean? That is, you don't have to acknowledge the system. But the thing is that Wells Fargo also did, you know what I mean, do them folks over on them home loans. There's also like things that are absolutely happening that work against people. But
but that system is like, I guess if we're saying like systems of like capitalism and things like that, I think that's different. I think if we look at Wells Fargo,
so you don't call that the boogeyman? You're talking about what? Well, so I guess I was thinking of the boogeyman differently because when I say like systems, that's what I mean.
Like capitalism is a system of governance,
right?
In which everybody ascribes to it, and like there's a very specific way that a country or community goes about operating. Same with socialism, communism,
right?
Free market, like those are like actual real legit systems per se. What I was speaking about is that general overarching idea. Like there's the New World Order. You can get into like the reptilians. Like it's so many different versions of the boogeyman that you can hear, and you hear across the board when you hear people talk about why we do things, why things happen, and the systems of control.
Okay, I was thinking more. Okay, I see.
Yeah, those are still real. Like if we was to go to like the WHO, the World Health Organization, and like the World Economic Forum, they are controlling stuff. But that's another conversation. We actually got like 2 minutes left, and I want to put up Unk's question real quick.
Hey, y'all like how I open that door for hey Tone, real quick. Y'all like how I open that door for conspiracies.
I
with Q and Tone. All right. Yeah. In the panel. I don't know if y'all gonna hop into it.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a whole
other bag thing over here.
But I would actually like to do that. I would like to dive in deeper though, like exploring. Okay, could this be true? And then exploring the side of could this not be true? How could this not be true?
Oh, I like it.
I could have put a pause right there, but
I didn't even catch
Johnny, grow up, bro.
All right, we going to Unc's question. Unc say men never want to talk about it,
Speaking
but
of
penis
grow
size
up.
matters. Let's talk.
Hey, listen, this is probably like
that's
the biggest
absolute truth.
I think this is what the biggest blinders is inside all of that red pill shit. It's like they forget that it's too many what is it? It's homeless sexuals that's out here.
Facts.
If you put it down good enough, you're gonna be all right regardless.
Facts.
You can find a crib.
And the best thing is you better the higher you aim, the better your percentage is gonna be. That's the funny part about it. As long as you can,
I don't know
hell
about
yeah.
that part.
As long as I promise you.
If you knocking it down good enough,
You said the higher you aim, you talking about like aiming at better, more attractive women.
Oh, my bad. What I'm specifically talking about, like more money she made.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. Like, listen,
bro, Tyrone been dropping off Shaquita to work for not even Shaquita.
Not even
Shaquita.
It's
not Shaquita.
Matter of fact,
he been knocking down Lauren.
Bro, some of them people be in happiness relationships. That's the whole
right.
He been knocking down Ashley, and Ashley got a house.
But to be honest, like I've known of situations also where a female, whether she chose up and she got homeboy that had a little bit more status, a little bit more money, XYZ, who she's still going to every other night is the homie. And you see it all the time. That's the reality of what the game is. In which a lot of that red pill shit is based off of like get your money up, because these is niggas that couldn't get pussy before having money. That's like really one of my main like.
And they can't keep pussy.
Yeah,
they can't. Like they get the pussy and they don't even know what to do with the pussy
because of so much of what they're doing isn't based on like the interaction to get it and the things that keeps it. Right. The thing is like we know too many, and truthfully, it be some lame niggas that can get females, but they know how to do the lame shit that females like. And it just be what it is, bro. Like I ain't hating on you, bro. But to Unc's statement, yes, I think that's a big factor.
No, I absolutely believe it. Absolutely.
And she's gonna cheat on that nigga with everything. Look at Will Smith.
But like, don't complain. See, this is where I get to a point to where we can sit here and we can go ahead and agree that bruh, you know what I mean, we'll drop her off and she'll keep bruh around and all of that. But niggas, you can't say niggas ain't shit based on that interaction. Because, bro, the reason that you keeping like bro around is not for the reasons that, you know what I mean? If you're looking for a man to be, you know what I mean? You can't base your interaction with him and put men in this thing because you are literally going for this.
That's when you ask
for
her,
the specific reason.
You ask her, what are you betting for? And she be
getting dropped off, bro, playing the pipe.
He knocking the Sonic rings out that motherfucker, but don't check no other boxes.
Hey, it be like that.
And sometimes that's all they want is them rings knocked out that motherfucker. Yeah. But that was
knocked a ring or two myself, so it may not be all she want.
That was that was a good question to leave it out on. I'll say, hey, ladies, comment below because.
Do you like your rings knocked out? Sonic rings.
You like your Sonic rings knocked out? Comment below.
Let your cookies crushed.
Cookies crushed. We stepping on all them Girl Scout joints, but let us. We'll wrap it up with that. It's been good.
It's been fun.
If y'all still in here, please hit the like button. Please hit the notification button. Subscribe.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
For sure.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate your comments.
Please like, comment, and share. If you catch us, because we on Instagram, we on Facebook, we on TikTok, and we on Threads. It's the To Be Fair Show. Follow us. I am your host, Johnny P.
Over here, real.
It's Q.
And we out.